These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? We're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Bite my lip and close my eyes. Take me away to paradise. I'm so damn bored I'm going blind and I smell like shit.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's Barley Basket.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 56 of America's Barley Basket. I'm your host, Nathan Fulsbuck. Sitting next to me in person is our host, Marlin Wells.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlin.
How are you?
Oh, not bad. You see, I said we were both hosts. No longer, it took me slightly over a year to no longer stumble over the host-co-host. I don't want any awkward tension in the air.
56 episodes to be like, what do I call you?
To have an entrance that actually works. We're all over here shockmastering it up, just tripping all over everything. Glitter.
That's a reference for not a lot of people,
Yep.
but
oh man, and the ones that get it are so lonely.
Yeah.
Just lonely. I'm with you, brother. I too know the
shock.
the sweet embrace of a comforter that needs a good wash.
You got to do that, dog. You gotta watch that comfort.
Yeah.
Every so often.
It's just so bulky.
No one says it's fun.
It's just full of so many dead skin cells.
This comforter weighs 80 pounds.
It's starting to pick up some of my personality traits.
Carry this comforter is like carrying a full beer cooler.
Is this thing wet?
Oh, it is. That checks out.
I do like doing this in person. What I must look like to your neighbors, I just wheel into the parking lot, jump out, pop the trunk, grab a microphone, and just burst into their apartment complex.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any calls over the week. Like nobody's come by, been like, "Are you all right?"
Yeah.
That fella
Just
with the microphone.
Andrew WK's looking like shit.
Actually, Andrew WK, I don't think has aged a day.
Yeah,
since
weirdly,
Park
looks
Yard.
younger.
Yeah,
It's like, technically, I think he's older than I am.
he's dating that what's her name, that Kat Dennings or whatever her name is from the Marvel universe.
Oh, Two Broke Girls.
Oh yes, yeah. She's from Two Broke Girls also, which I never saw.
Also, 40-year-old virgin. I think that might have been her bigger break. She's the daughter.
Yeah, Catherine
Keener?
Keener, yeah, Catherine Keener's daughter. Mm-hmm. So good for them.
Doing a real Kat Dennings deep dive.
Yeah, this has been your Kat Dennings
Update.
We're next in line to get entertainment tonight.
Yeah.
Like we're the next
Holy
hosts for sure.
shit.
Move over, Mario.
Man, I want to be part of that timeline.
I went and saw Andrew WK do his like fucking speaking bit a few years ago here in town.
I wish I would have went. I remember when that was in town.
I really like Andrew WK and I like a lot of his writings and whatnot. But then like was kind of let down by that event because it was like eventually you realize like, oh, it's just every person who asked a question got the same answer, like, oh, you gotta live, like do what you feel is best. Just this bumper sticker philosophy shit. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I'm so glad I went, but
yeah, I could see him struggling to stretch something to last an hour plus.
Yeah. It was. I was ready for it to be done when it was over, so it all timed out about right.
Yeah, that sometimes happens.
Yeah. Now Henry Rollins spoken word shit. I've gone to that as well here in town.
Yeah.
Fuck, that was probably 15 years ago.
I remember when it came. Yeah, I remember it was in town.
But that was rad.
Yeah, I've
and
heard.
Like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like the dude's out of his mind.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, that you get your money's worth when you go see him talk.
Yeah. Yeah, that one I really enjoyed.
Ever delved into his solo work at all?
His solo music?
Yeah, like Rollins' band.
Outside of Liar, I don't know any of his stuff.
Yeah, there was just something about like I wish I don't know the music terminology. Like the rhythm was weird, kind of. I don't know, like I don't know what it was. Just wasn't for me. But one of it, maybe their last ever album, there was a single called Illumination that, I don't know, if you didn't think Rollins Band was for you, that might be mainstream enough for you to enjoy it. So there you go. Yeah. Those of you out there that have been struggling for to fill the Henry Rollins Band void in your playlists, take it from me.
I like my threshold for aggressive music, kind of no matter what genre it is kind of all over the place. Like I remember when Liar came out, me being like, that's too much. You know, a lot of Black Flag is too much for me. But like Rancid, perfectly fine. So I don't know quite where my line is when it comes to that type of music. But I remember, again, I only know Liar. But when that song came out, I was like, no, that's over the line. I don't know where the line is, but I know that's over it.
Like, I'm that way too with a lot of heavy music. Like if the vocals are super like growly or like guttural, it just goes almost to like parody. It's like, this is silly. Like, you guys are silly. Look at you. Like, you know, I don't get it. Something about it. I can't sink my teeth into it. It's just, and so much of it's so repetitive, just playing as fast as we can, just scales as fast as we can. Just like, there's no melodies at all. It's like, I want tasty riffs. Like, I don't want gaunt Scandinavian people playing 17-string guitars as quick as they can, you know? Like
I fall into that with a lot of like heavy metal music. Like I feel like, especially the real ugly shit, the real heavy shit, I can usually appreciate the musicianship behind it, even if I don't care for the music itself.
Yeah. Like, it seems like when metalheads start to dislike a band is when I start to like them more. Yep. Mastodon is that way for me.
Okay.
Because it's just like they got a little more mainstream, a little more wider appealing sound. Like, okay, I'm wide. I want it to appeal to me. You know? And Baroness is another band that like, okay, I don't need 17-minute songs. I'm glad they sing normal length songs for normal people.
Mastodon is a band I've kept meaning to circle back to and never have. But I'm that way with like Dimmu Borgir, which is a Norwegian death metal band where like they're some of the OGs, like they're old guys at this point, but like there were like the early albums that all my metalhead friends love, I don't think are any good. And then when they're like, and then they got soft on this record, I'm like, this record's their best one. What are you talking about?
I bet I'd be the same way.
So I get that.
Another band that a lot of my metal friends are into that I've given a couple songs a try, and again, I'm just barely giving them a try. Is it Meshuggah?
Meshuggah, I think.
Boy, it just doesn't do much for me, man. Like, maybe, again, I've listened to 2 songs probably, but like, I know I have friends that would jump in front of a bus to save Meshuggah.
Man, you know, I don't know any Meshuggah fans that like Meshuggah that much.
Just fanatical. Or I saw them open for, was it Mastodon? Converge? They're like a hardcore band. And I was like, I have friends that this is their favorite band. Yeah. And the lead singer sounded like he was clearing his throat for the 45-minute set. It's just like, this is silly. I mean, I know it's not meant to be. Just to me, it seems silly. Like,
takes all sorts.
Yeah, and watching them play, they are just flying. You know, it's like that has really complex. That's got to be really hard. It's like NASCAR. I know it's just not hillbillies driving in circles for 4 hours. I know there's a ton of science involved, but like, it ain't my bag.
It's not for you.
Yeah.
I like when a metal band has a little something, a little gimmick.
Yep.
Like I was super into Blind Guardian in my late teens, early 20s, like the Lord of the Rings metal that they were doing. I like my metal to have some pan flutes in it, you know? Or like I was listening to Sepultura today, not 12 hours ago, where like, this heavy metal needs a little, Brazilian steel drums and shit. That's what I need.
And then them too, they're not playing a mile a minute. Like,
right. Yeah. They're pretty chunky.
Yeah. That's chunky is the right adjective, or like groovy. Like I like fucking Pantera for that reason. I was about
to say Pantera.
It's like I don't know what the technical term is, but whatever they're doing, keep doing it. I mean, they can, but
there's
extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, they're down half the fellas.
Makes it tough. Just a lead singer and a bassist.
Makes it tough to put together a set list. It's just Phil Anselmo spilling white power shit for an hour and a half.
Someone told me that he sounds great when you see him live now. Yeah. I think he finally got cleaned up for the first time in the 80s.
I like Pantera and I like Down. Yeah. So, like, I'm sure.
I even liked a couple Super Joint Ritual tracks.
Oh, I don't know any Super Joint.
I'm glad we're really doing some Super Joint Ritual information on a fucking Simpsons podcast.
Where you come for all of your Joint Ritual and Kat Dennings information. We got you covered.
It's one-stop shopping at America's Barley Basket.
Someone's listening going, I hope they get to the Garfield soon. Hopefully they can go on another
comic
15
strip
minute.
while they do a deep dive. They haven't talked about Luann yet. Oh my God, I wish they'd go into Luann. Holy fuck, I forgot about Luann just shot into my brain as if like a program to talk about like.
So I said the activation phrase somehow. You're Manchurian candidate for comic strips.
For mediocre comic strips.
We are here to talk about The Simpsons.
We promise.
Is the main thing, allegedly. We're working through season 13. First one of the batch this week is episode 8, Sweet and Sour Marge. The family goes to the library. The library's having a book sale. I like that the banner says, yes, we have pornography.
That was a good touch.
Which I liked that. I never knew that libraries would have book sales, but I guess it makes sense.
Yeah,
they got to move their, they got to refresh their shelves somehow. I always give my books to the library when I'm done reading them. That's my bit of good I put into the world.
And now that I think about it, I've been in the library. It's like where there's like a couple big tables full of books for sale in the entryway. So now that I think about it.
When I was in high school, because I was super killing it and popular, I volunteered time in the high school library to do librarian work.
I wish we could have some sad, like, violin music.
Here's the thing. I like books, and one of my favorite things to do is alphabetize things. I was born to be a librarian.
That's a match made in heaven right there.
Yeah, there's a library not 2 blocks from me. I should go over there and see if I can get a fucking job.
Like, milling around with middle-aged women. All of this is adding up.
And, like... Fuck, libraries have computers and shit in them. Ours certainly didn't.
Yeah.
In high school.
And now that I think about it, our public library in my hometown, their book like sale was like a box that a case of Bud Light bottles comes in with a heap of books for a nickel each. That's how I discovered Stephen King.
Look at you. Which one did you get?
Night Shift.
Nice.
And I'm still a big believer that Stephen King is a better short story author than a novel writer. So that was really, oh man, I remember like thinking this is insane. I was so hooked. Like every one of these is better than the next. How can this be so awesome?
Yeah, I had the same reaction to him when I found it when I was too young.
Really? Yeah. That's. I've still never read it. I own it. I've never read it.
Way too young for it, but like immediately, like couldn't put it down. Had to get another Stephen King book immediately. You know.
Did you have something in your school called a bookmobile?
It wasn't a bookmobile the way I can see a bookmobile in my head from television, but we had like the book fair, like that would come twice a year.
We had an actual like panel van full of books. Well, more bigger than a panel van, like a Schwan's truck. Oh, that's a reference no one else in North Dakota will get.
I want you to explain what the Schwan's man
Holy,
is.
The Schwan.
To people who don't live here.
So the Schwan Company is a company that will show up at your house with a truck full of frozen goods, and usually you are given a piece of paper when you. I don't know how the entry process is, but once you get in, you get your tasty treats delivered, and you're given an order form. And at some point, you get that order form to them, and they will show up at your house at a certain time. And that it's shit you can't get in the. I mean, it's not like it's top secret new food designs, but it's a different kind of chicken finger. You know, it's a different kind of ice cream treat. And a little more Gucci, a little more expensive. Schwan shit is never on sale. As a kid, I assumed if you had Schwan food at your house that you were rolling in it, which is not true. Not true at all.
See, and that's baffling because where I come from, the Schwan's man stops at everybody's house. It's not. exclusive thing out in the sticks.
I bet for you guys, as rural as you were, it was more of a necessity. Like, oh, I don't want to drive 40 miles, to get tater tots.
Right.
I want a guy to drop my tater tots off.
Like, if I'm remembering right, you could say, hey, next time you come, which I think is going to be in 2 weeks. I think we were on an every 2-week rotation. I think you could say, hey, I want some of these next time. But for the most part, it was just him handing you a catalog and you saying, I'll take one of these. There was no...
Maybe that's okay.
Like, I bet we're both right. Like, I bet that the ordering ahead for sure was probably a thing. It probably is for sure now. Yeah. I'm sure if you have the Schwans now, it's an app on your phone or something that you order and they just bring it to you.
God, yeah, we never had any, it's astounding that I was as chubby as I was as a kid because there was no good food. I am proof that carbs are real because all the weight I put on was just eating saltines. Because that was like the only food in the house, besides dry noodles. Just shoot a sleeve of saltines while you're playing Mega Man 2 on your NES.
I certainly ate just saltines as a snack.
Yeah, a lot of that.
A lot of saltines and a lot of cheese sandwiches.
Oh yeah.
Like Miracle Whip, unpeel a cheese slice, put that on there. There's your sandwich.
When I was real little, I used to eat just straight Miracle Whip sandwiches. That I was 3.
I think, probably did that.
Yeah.
Too.
My mom said, I think I was just excited because I now had the motor skills to put mayonnaise on bread. So she's just like, bless your heart, but you probably shouldn't be eating that much Miracle Whip.
I don't think it's good for you. I think it's pretty bad.
God, to this day, pro Miracle Whip.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yep, love Miracle Whip.
Not a mayonnaise guy, but I love.
I'd rather have mayonnaise than mustard on a sandwich.
I can't follow you there.
Really? Yeah. Okay, I got.
But I'm in that fridge right there. There's 8 different kinds of mustards. I like mustard.
I have a note on my phone. Get Miracle Whip. That's how much I enjoy Miracle Whip.
How else can you eat tuna in your bug basement?
Yeah, exactly. Does he eat it out of the can like a savage? No, I put a dollop of Miracle Whip. I mix it up in the can. Eat it with my hands.
We're 10 seconds into this Simpsons episode. And we've talked more about the fucking Schwans, man.
Oh, God damn it. Yeah. So we had a bookmobile. And what I think it was basically a library on wheels that would go to the tiny schools that didn't have libraries.
Okay.
But I think they'd throw us a bone too, and they just stopped. It was only little kids, K through 3rd grade. So ages 5 through 9 or whatever. And you'd get to go run outside. The bookmobile be idling. There'd be an elderly woman waving at you. It was real wholesome. But now that I think about it, though, it was designed for all ages because the bottom third was the shelves we looked at. But then I remember one time looking up top and seeing a huge, big hardcover copy of, I think it was, Cujo. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm renting this. And I walk up there with a book the size of my torso, and the one nice lady's like, whatever, dude, here you go. And then the other nice lady's like, fuck that noise. I don't want to get a letter from that kid's mom. It's about a dog that eats kids.
You won't go near the family dog anymore.
I just remember her gently yet firmly taking that book out of my hand and putting it back on the shelf.
So this was for rental, like a library, not for buying.
Yep, this is a school.
And then they come by in 2 weeks again.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, well, grab your book out of your desk to return.
See, we had the book fair where it was just here's 4 card tables that we set up in the library.
Yep.
There's books you can buy, or a fucking 8x10 poster with a sweet Lamborghini on it, or a bookmark.
God, the Lamborghini posters. Yeah, that was if you could just scrape together some change. You wanted to feel like you're part of the team. You buy a bookmark.
Yeah.
Here's a Mother Goose and Grimm bookmark. I clearly remember owning one of those. Another comic strip. Fucking A, we can't escape it.
So the Simpsons are at the library book sale. Homer is not into it, but he finds a book about... it's the Duff World Records book. They're not going to use Guinness, apparently. And Homer's infatuated. I remember being a kid and finding the Guinness World Record book in the library and being like, look at these fucking fingernails.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's a lot of bees in that guy's beard.
God damn, do I swear a lot for a little kid. So Homer's super into this. He bails and he goes to Moe's. And Homer is going to just try to break a record. This becomes his goal in life this week. And he goes to the Duff record keeping people. He's playing a banjo with a cobra, which was fun. And they explain to him that, like, all of the dumb shit that someone can do has already been done. Now it's just about getting a group of people together to do the biggest X, whatever.
Yeah, human pyramid or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what Homer decides to do. He gets the whole town together. They're going to form the biggest human pyramid. That was a fun visual of him, like, climbing up all these people, like cliffhanger. Like, he slips and falls down a ways and barely catches himself.
They did not plan that out well. Why was he on top?
Right? Exactly. No, you got to get your beefy boys on the base. Yeah. That's what they're there for. It, of course, as soon as Homer gets up there, goes awry. They fall. It, like, mold. All the townsfolk mold into this giant ball that rolls down the hill. And crashes onto a truck scale, and the records people look at the weight, and it turns out that Springfield gets the record for being the fattest town in the world. And I like the weird, like, slow motion of them, like, celebrating and just guts swinging around. Like, even people who you don't think of as fat, but maybe just a little beefy, like Dr. Hibbert.
Yep, first thing that came
is,
to mind.
Like, has this huge fucking swinging gummy bear gut.
Yeah. Gummy bear gut. I'm going to have to remember that.
Homer, we get another pennant. I know you like the pennant.
Yep.
Homer is wearing a pennant that just says girth, which I thought was pretty funny. I would buy a girth pennant.
Yeah.
Marge, not into this. She's not into everyone, like, taking pride in how fat they are.
Yeah.
Because Marge, one of very few real skinny people on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On her feet all day.
Yeah, doing mom shit.
Yeah.
So she goes on a crusade. She's going to head into the mother-loving Sugar Corp and take it down. She meets up with the CEO and is like, you got to quit fucking selling sugar to people. And I love how much of a dick that character is.
And voiced by Ben Stiller, I believe.
Yeah, Ben Stiller, just being an asshole. It even looks like Ben Stiller.
He's good at being an asshole, too. Like,
yeah.
Is it just me? Do you not see him? Like, he was everywhere probably 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, he really disappeared. Like, we're a long way away from, like, the dodgeball days.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you saw him all the time.
The aughts were a good time for Ben Stiller, I bet.
Yeah. And by this point in The Simpsons, is the Ben Stiller show...
Long gone.
Yeah,
that was like 90, 91.
Man, that's way earlier than I thought.
He was like a college kid when he did that show, pretty much.
Wasn't Sarah Silverman on that show?
I think it's one of those shows
writer on that show
that has a weird amount of now famous funny people that were attached to it.
Yeah,
I do like too. This is just coming up here when there's a good gag when Homer finds out that Marge went to the sugar factory. So Chud, like, you went to the sugar factory? Were there Oompa Loompas there? And Marge, there was one in a cage, but he wasn't moving. Jesus, that's depressing. Just a dead Oompa Loompa.
My favorite part about that joke, not only is it real good and dark, but like, the fact that it's a dead Oompa Loompa in a cage didn't cross Marge's mind at all.
Yeah.
Just one in a cage, but he wasn't moving.
Yeah.
Like, she says it so obliviously.
Yeah.
Marge gonna take down the Sugar Corporation. She's gonna file a class action lawsuit against the sugar industry. They go find a lawyer, and it is motherfucking Gil.
This was a nice choice.
God damn it, I like Gil's.
God. And we had just gotten a big enough break from Gil that it was sure nice to see him back. Probably had a few episodes now.
Yeah, it was good to see, like, I like seeing all of Gil's new employments, whether it's, I like that he's gotten out of sales now and past the bar. Like he's
good
a
for
lawyer.
him.
But at the same time, it hit me that like, if Phil Hartman were here, this would be a Lionel Hutz
Good
role.
call.
You know what I mean?
Jesus, yeah.
Like that crosses my mind every so
Interesting.
often.
I had never thought, but you're right. Like, oh yeah, this would be perfect Lionel Hutz time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Weird,
about that every so
yeah.
often. Like, Phil Hartman would have probably been here or been in this commercial,
Yeah, or
as Troy McClure.
And just anytime there's any kind of like promotion or like any kind of like hosting thing, it would have been Troy McClure. Yeah.
Yeah. Marge is out recruiting townfolk for her civil lawsuit. She gets a phone call from Professor Frink, who's a whistleblower. We never really find out for what. Just like, I made a thing for the sugar industry.
Yeah.
And like, that's kind of it. So we have Frink show up just for a little bit, I guess. Marge wins the lawsuit, and the judge bans all sugar forever from Springfield. Yeah. No more sugar in the town.
It's around this time we also see Chief Wiggum out of uniform, just briefly. That's always off-putting.
It's always weird.
Without the hat, in dress slacks and a shirt, like it is something.
They have a, speaking of Wiggum, they have a big candy burning out in front of the police department, which I thought was funny. There's a fun joke here that we get a return to, we get a callback to in just a couple episodes, where they're throwing candy in the fire and they throw a handful of Butterfingers in there, and the Butterfingers, like, come flying back out of the fire, and Wiggum goes, Butterfinger, not even the fire wants them.
Which, first off, incorrect. Butterfinger is a tasty treat.
Yeah, Butterfingers
really?
Okay at best.
One thing with Butterfingers they are very temperamental. Like they have the shelf life of a plum. Like a Butterfinger will go rock hard within days, but you get it fresh, damn, that's a good treat. But I mean, this is what the joke must be, but the Simpsons were in bed with Butterfingers for 20 fucking years. Like,
see, I think it's funny because they take a shot at Butterfinger when they're the Butterfinger spokesman. Yeah. And then the joke we get 2 episodes from now is when Bart's writing on the chalkboard, I will not bite the hand that feeds me Butterfingers.
Good call.
So they do a joke where they shit on Butterfinger that they're the spokesperson for, and then make a joke in 2 episodes that they're in trouble for making the joke. Like, I thought that was brilliant.
I wonder if Butterfinger is still attached to The Simpsons in that way.
I have no idea.
Good question.
Because Butterfinger was Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like, those two were in bed together forever.
Your whole childhood.
Yeah.
Like, you're the right age. Like, I was, do you remember Butterfinger BBs?
Fuck yeah, I remember Butterfinger BBs.
Were attached with that was the peak of Simpsons advertising for Butterfinger.
Do you remember Bunch of Crunch?
Oh my God! Was that a Nestle Crunch? Yep.
Yeah.
I remember. I mean, I will fuck up some Bunch of Crunch. Who are we kidding here? But I definitely, of the two, I really enjoyed a Butterfinger baby. Did they maybe bring them back, or am I just dreaming? I wish they did.
They're bound to. Everything else has come
from the
back.
90s.
Fucking Dunkaroos are back. So
really,
yeah. Oh boy, Nathan really popped up.
Yeah.
Sat ahead a little. Yeah, the Butterfingers were always the Simpsons, and then Crunch was the Addams Family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I remember the jingle for the Bunch of Crunch was like the Addams Family was in the commercial, and then the jingle was like something something. It's Nestle Bunch of Crunch. Like it was the Addams Family theme song.
When was the last time you purchased a Nestle Crunch bar? That's an interesting candy bar. Like,
was I 15?
Yeah,
maybe?
like that's again. I could never work in a gas station because people would be stealing gas endlessly as I'm sitting there watching people peruse the candy aisle. Like, really, Nestle Crunch
That's
bar?
What he's going for, huh?
That's interesting. Good for you. I did briefly buy. Boy, this is a boring fucking story.
Good intro.
Yeah. I, for a brief period of my, 11, 12, 13, would buy Nestle Crunch bars because every NBA team had a Nestle Crunch, so you didn't know what team would be on the Crunch Bar. And of course, I kept opening them till I got a Celtics.
Did you get one?
When I finally did, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool." Now what?
Now you eat it.
Now I'm just gonna eat it. Like, I'm gonna eat not a subpar candy bar, but not a prime candy bar. When there's so many other options, like
I think Crunch Bars have done the we got imprinted stuff on the Crunch Bars a handful of times.
they make a good candy palette. They're flat.
They're a good canvas for candy art.
You have a choice between two basic candies. You go on Nestle Crunch. You go on Hershey bar.
Regular Hershey, just milk chocolate, no nuts.
We'll try them both. We're gonna do regular Hershey.
Okay, I'll take the Crunch.
God, for me, it's cool. I fucking love Hershey chocolate.
Like, I don't understand the appeal of it when it's like, hey, we took all the good stuff out of a candy bar and left you with the outside.
I mean, I would, of the two, I want the almonds.
Likewise.
Hershey with almonds is on a short list of my favorite candy bars, but like I could eat a 55-gallon drum of Hershey Kisses. We've discussed this. I can't eat a lot in one sitting. Like I'm not going to win a prize for eating an omelet the size of a fucking bird bath in 45 minutes.
Which we still got to do. We got to take that road trip and document it.
But give me a weekend and I will eat an embarrassing amount of Hershey Kisses. It was like a sea of tinfoil wrappers in my apartment. Like
after like 3, I'm like, my teeth are cold in a way that's troublesome.
Oh man,
like there's not enough. It just doesn't have enough upside for me.
See,
much like my heavy metal. I need a gimmick. You got to give me something.
Put a kernel of corn in the middle of each one or something.
Right, like you give me just
there's a corn nut in the middle of each one.
You give me a meat and potatoes wrestler like Bob Backlund. I'm not into him, but dress some guy up and tell me he's an evil dentist named Dr. Isaac Yankum. I'll watch that wrestler.
I like this. This is believable to me.
Like, I don't care for a lot of 70s music, but boy, do I love Meatloaf and Kiss. And like, I need things jazzed up a little.
And while we're on the subject of sugary treats, we get a Count Fudgula appearance later on.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a bowl of Count Chocula?
Yes, for sure.
See, like, that was the kind of thing we so rarely got, but I had to have at some point as a child. Can you think of off the top of your head, if you were to describe to somebody, what's Count Chocula like?
It's like you put Lucky Charms marshmallows in Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
And I don't like marshmallow cereals because those aren't marshmallows. Those are little bits of styrofoam that send chills down my spine.
Oh, really?
I don't like it. But honestly, I might not have had a bowl of Count Chocula till well into my adult life.
Oh, okay.
But I have for sure had it.
God, I could fuck up a trough of Lucky Charms. God, Lucky Charms is that right combo of like blandness with the sweetness. God damn it, Lucky Charms. You got to figure it out.
There's too many. Those marshmallows are. God,
yeah, and I get it. I just like that ratio. I like the dry parts to the marshmallow.
Get you a bag of just the grain parts from Lucky Charms. It's the saddest cereal. Yeah. That could be what King Vitamin is for all I know.
Yeah. No one's ever eaten it. I don't know. That was some kind of government program or something like that. Or Kaboom. I've heard Kaboom made a mockery of like health. It was basically just all marshmallows with a few dry parts mixed in just for texture.
I had a boss like 2 jobs ago who would buy bags of knockoff cereal marshmallows on the internet. Like, just go to Amazon and just be like, Lucky Charms marshmallows. And they're not TM Lucky Charms marshmallows, but here's a whole fucking bag of them.
And do what with them?
Eat them.
With milk or dry?
Just dry. He'd sit in his office and eat fucking Lucky Charms marshmallows.
God damn it.
always under this kind of overbearing lie of, oh, these are, they're my kids. They're for my kids, but I'll munch on some in the office. It's like, Travis, I've never seen your kid in here. Why is this bag in here?
Your kids are grown, man. Like,
your kids are in their 30s.
They ain't coming here for marshmallows, dude.
No, he was younger than me at the time, which doesn't feel good when that's your... doesn't make you feel good about yourself. Boy, I ain't done shit, have I?
Someday you'll have a child to feed marshmallows to. Someday you will have a child that can be your scapegoat for your marshmallow snacking ways.
Marshmallow addiction. As I give myself diabetes in my office.
Just drinking Hershey syrup right out. It's for the kids. Sometimes it's for me, but mostly for the kids. Oh, the side of your face is drooping there, Marlon. This is just so good.
Just pulverizing Lucky Charms marshmallows and doing a fucking line.
You're doing shots of Hershey syrup, but you're putting crunched up marshmallows like it's the salt
around the rim. Yep.
Delicious.
It's a sweet treat. Daddy earned a sweet treat today.
All the women leave the break room because they start crying, just watching the sudden demise of Marlin Wells.
It's like watching somebody with a drug problem, except it's...
You're doing root beer barrels, but you're dropping a Cadbury cream egg into a mixing bowl full of Hershey syrup. I can't stop watching. I got to wait till he gets to that egg. He almost dies every time.
I'm bobbing for it like apples in Halloween.
Oh, God, there we go. There we go.
Oh, I got the egg.
Crush it with your gullet. You don't use any teeth.
Throw my head back like a snake and just, or like a pelican, just go, get it down. Oh shit!
Sometimes the egg breaks in my throat and I get the sweetness. I'm here to fix the coffee machine. I heard they sent me up here as a joke. There's no coffee machine anywhere.
You want some marshmallows? Oh, shit. Yeah, don't care for marshmallows. Not my jam. So the Butterfingers don't burn in the candy burning. Homer goes to the secret group where we see Count Fudgula.
That's what it is, the bootlegging.
Yeah, it's Count Fudgula and Mr. Burns and a couple others.
Apu, possibly? He's a part of it because it's ruining his business.
Yes. Yeah.
He's the one that introduces Homer.
Oh, yeah, he introduces Homer to him because there's nothing left in the Quickie Mart anymore since you can't sell anything with sugar in it. So they go on a sugar smuggling mission. Homer gets the sugar and gets it back on the boat, and they're getting back to Springfield. And Homer comes up from below deck and is just like, oh, so did everybody keister some for their personal supply? I thought of you right away because you're the only person I know who uses keister. Yep. I use Bird Dog. You're a keister person.
That's a regional preference.
Regional preference. Mr. Burns and Apu and whoever else is along, kind of the police are there with their boat, and they leave Homer and Bart kind of holding the bag. Homer gets to where he's going with the boatload of illicit sugar, and Ben Stiller's character is there. And then on the dock next to him is Marge saying, "No, dump it," and he's like, "No, bring it here so we can sell it." And it's very like just yes or no, you know, one dock or the other. And Homer listens to Marge, and he dumps the sugar into the I don't know, the bay.
The bay, yeah.
And everyone dives in and starts just drinking up all this sugar water, which I think this is the ocean.
Yeah, it's killing them.
They're gonna get that sea salt madness that the pirates get. And the judge, he decides to bring back sugar, and Marge learned a lesson, and we wrap up with the Archie's Sugar,
yeah, of
which
course.
I fucking love.
Yep, catchy song.
I love that song. As we've mentioned before, I have a weird love for 50s and 60s doo-woppy malt shop music. Mm-hmm. Big fan.
What do you think? The Archies as a concept, because they were... they put out albums, but they weren't their own names. Like if you bought an Archie's album, It said the members of the Archies were Betty, Veronica, Archie, Reggie, and Jughead.
No shit,
Yep.
really?
Yep. Like there was no, I mean, I'm sure if you dug out the liner notes and really read,
Maybe it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, but there's a guy that tours to this day, and probably in the 70s, but his whole thing is he's one of those kind of, they mish, if you don't have enough hits to tour on your own, you kind of mush together with like 2 or 3 other sounds of the 60s,
we dusted off Bobby Vale and sent him out on the road with the rest of these people.
I know one of them is so and so and so and so, the voice of the Archies. So so he was they were. I can't think. I mean, there's shit like Gorillas, but that's they weren't contractually signed. Archies was just strictly a cash grab. You know what I mean?
Was it like?
I think Archie comics were just so popular that in the storyline they were in a teen band
called the Archies.
The Archies, yeah. There's many. You buy an Archie double digest, you're getting at least one Archie-centric band comic story.
And then do you think it's Archie Comics who were like, well, we should make a band?
Yep. Oh, yeah. It was all their idea.
No kidding. I had no idea.
Yep.
All this time, I just thought they were like, that a band somewhere was like, we'll call ourselves the Archies.
Yep.
I had no fucking idea that it was a marketing ploy.
It was just a marketing thing.
I've been lied to my whole life.
It was all just a studio, Archie gave some money to a record company that, they had someone put together some songs, hire some people to sing and perform on those songs.
Huh. Next, you're going to tell me Sugar Sugar isn't actually about sugar.
Yeah.
Or Honey Honey.
I think that's probably true. There was no drug euphemisms in Archie songs. They were pretty wholesome.
Well, that song's about a girl.
Yeah. Yeah. So man, I feel like I've shattered something inside you that was once pure.
I'm all fucked up. I had no idea.
Yeah. Just a corporate cash grab by Archie Co.
Well, they only had one hit as far as I know.
I think they kind of had another mild. I think they definitely fit the parameters of a one-hit wonder. But I think if you were someone that has a passing interest in top 40 music of the late 60s, they probably have another song you'd recognize.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I bet the people from Archie Comics from the 60s didn't think that, this song's really going to appeal to some doughy motherfucker in the upper Great Plains in his mid-30s with a bunch of Ninja Turtle tattoos. He's going to love this song.
50 years from now.
Yeah, 50 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah, think of how quick they expect that to be a very disposable product, but they happen to write a pretty catchy song.
Yeah, they did.
It lives on today. And I'm with you. That was a fine episode.
Honestly, I felt this way about a lot of episodes this week. It was fine.
It was a step back from the last couple weeks. Yep. There was never a time I'm like, holy shit, I'm laughing my ass off.
This batch did get a couple legit out loud laughs from me, but not like the past couple weeks have.
And our next episode is episode 9, Jaws Wired Shut. Has to be a play on Eyes Wide Shut, the Stanley Kubrick movie.
Yeah. Do you like that movie?
I probably have not seen it since it came out, but that movie came out right when I was at my peak movie nerdom. I'm going to go to film school. So I was watching, I think I appreciate it, just visually. And again, Jesus Christ, fucking short answer made long. Yeah, I do.
I think much like my opinion of every Stanley Kubrick film, I'm like, boy, this looks good and is too long and way up its own ass.
Just up its own ass is the exact same words I was going to use.
Also, and no, I don't have a good reason before you ask, I don't like Nicole Kidman.
Oh, really?
Never have. There's something about her face. I'm like, I don't care for her.
See, I enjoyed Nicole Kidman and I don't dislike Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I have no... I mean, outside of his real wackadoo off-the-screen shit.
He made some good Tom Cruise movie. I've maybe even went to bat for this movie on the podcast before, is Collateral.
Oh, with Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx and Jada Pinkett. Collateral, top 10 movie of the last 20 years, if you ask me.
Huh.
Love that movie. And I'm a Michael Mann mark. I
like Michael Mann. I don't care for Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, and he's perfectly fine in this role.
Yeah.
He's the casting is well done. he's just a, cab driver who's just scraping by. Not
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yep, it's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's an ingenious idea that a hitman will handcuff you to the steering wheel, and I can't remember what else he sets it up, that you basically are going to...
Forces you to be a part of his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a smart idea for a action movie. And so, yeah, the Simpsons episode, Jaws Wired Shut. We almost got into the actual plot.
We almost got past the title.
Yep, we're getting there. Starts with a Homer looking at a copy of Pie Times magazine, which is a dumb joke that I like. And I am a sucker for magazines. It's sad.
He, unfolds the centerfold, just like, ooh, they're showing the filling. It's such a dumb fucking joke.
Yeah, very dumb, but I was for it.
You're also pretty anti-pie, so, ambivalent.
Yeah. Ambivalent pies, yeah. I don't get excited for pies as I would a crisp or a cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and I even find a lot of cakes overrated. I'm more of a pastry man when it comes to my baked goods.
Oh.
I like a good Long John.
Little Lord Fauntleroy here. Only scones for me, sir.
Less apple, more fritter. Take it away. my little pantaloons. I want a tall chair. My feet don't reach the bottom. A little tasseled hat. Not enough Long, too much John. Take it away. My tall, skinny, elderly butler. Yes, master.
Yes, Master Fulsabot.
Yeah, Lord Fulsabot.
Too much apple, not enough fritter.
Yeah, and like turning away from it like it's emotionally distressing, like hand on the forehead.
Real dainty.
There's a mountain of bite apple fritters behind me. Just 3 bakers busting their ass.
I won't tell you again about the lemon tart.
It's 3 p.m. I finally have a breakfast pastry that meets my needs, and then I go out and ride horse or whatever. A tiny little pony. I'm playing polo with my other...
We finally found a croissant that appeals to Lord Volsabot.
And my mood has to change every day, so you can never figure it out. You're just always flying blind.
The phrase that just fell out of your head, too much apple, not enough fritter, sounds like a phrase that exists.
Yeah.
Right? That sounds like an Old West saying.
Yeah.
Like, you know what they say about Kenneth down the way's a little too much apple and not enough fritter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But it can totally make sense.
You have to act like you do because that guy has a gun. Oh, yeah, I've thought the same thing,
Like,
that's kind of for you. So is there a gas station in this county?
like, too much apple, not enough fritter could mean he spends more than he has, or it could mean his dick is way bigger than you think it is.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah,
that fits both of those equally well.
Yeah, or you're wondering about his sexual orientation.
Yeah, a little more apple than fritter, Like, what does that mean?
A lot of directions I could go in. I'm going to start dropping that phrase and act like it's just something, and watch my friends nod.
Because they'll just nod along with
because they don't want to get into that. They know who I am. They know it's going to be a
That's another
15 minute.
By the way, not too much apple, not enough fritter. Ooh, fuck.
So here we are. Homer's enjoying Pie Times magazine. Then the family goes outside to see a gay pride parade. Lot of gags. None of them particularly good.
None of them funny, but none of them awful,
cringy,
which I was braced for.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
Like as soon as they come out and Homer's like, "Oh, it's a gay pride parade," I was like gripping my armrest, just like, "Okay, guys, come on,
get through it." Yeah. So the parade, just it wasn't as fun as they thought it was going to be. So they kind of just decided to make a family fun afternoon. They decided to go see a movie, which the movies on the matinee, always a beautiful part of any Simpsons episode. I got to pause for.
Yeah.
We used to have a lot more moments like this where you'd have to pause and read shit.
Something.
Yep.
Yeah. These not a particularly great batch, I didn't think.
I did enjoy Wedgie the movie and Air Chud.
Air Chud is the one that I wrote down.
It's like the second Chud. Chud itself is a fairly forgettable mid-'80s horror movie. The concept of Chud has lived on. Chud is stronger now than ever before.
I'm always saying that.
Yeah. I'll call people chuds all the time. Like, look at these chuds.
It's fucking chud.
Yeah.
It's chud has had a weirdly long tail.
Yeah. What a weird thing. Yeah. Like,
but like, that idea that we took the Air Bud franchise and put chud in it is very funny.
Very, very funny. But no one references the movie Critters or could call somebody a critter,
right?
Thinking or Ghoulies, which was Ghoulies a knockoff of both Critters and Gremlins? Maybe more Gremlins. Ghoulies might precede Critters.
I've ever seen Ghoulies.
Ghoulies, you'll know it because the advertisement. They are a mischievous monster that comes out of toilets. And again, all the VHS covers, it's like one of the Ghoulies, like crawling out of the toilet. Like just when you thought it was safe to sit down, Ghoulies. So I'm never seen one.
Cribbing from Jaws. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
So I'm assuming they're definitely going for a comedy angle because if they're playing that straight horror, that's insane, and I'm kind of here for it. So I'm assuming it's a poor man's, probably 70% Gremlins, 30% Critters.
Huh.
Ever seen a Critters movie?
I was about to say I don't think I've ever seen Critters.
I watched the shit out of the first Critters because it was on HBO at the time. That's fun.
I have for sure seen Gremlins and Gremlins 2.
Gremlins is a fucking masterpiece. God, that movie's good.
Yeah, it's not as good as the first one, but I'll stand by Gremlins 2 as being dumb fun.
I probably haven't seen that since it was like new. I know my mom talks about because I was just the kind of age because they pushed Gremlins as a children's movie. It is not it ain't not meant for a 4-year-old. That movie gets pretty gnarly at times. Like
of all the fucked up shit that happens in Gremlins, the thing that stuck with me the longest and I think is the most horrifying is the little furballs popping off of Gizmo.
Yeah, that is weird. It's
gross.
Yeah,
and it looks like it hurts him.
Yep.
That's the most of all the fucked up things in that movie. That's the most.
Or the gremlinizing, like how the gremlins are made from going from Mogwai to Gremlin. That's really off-putting.
Yeah, that's not pleasant either.
I have a weird connection with Gremlins. My first, being really little, and my first thoughts of what I would ever do if I was an adult, I'm going to be a race car driver. I'm going to be a fireman.
Okay.
When I watched Gremlins and I saw that dad that had all those shitty inventions, that was like, I'm going to do that.
The wacky inventor.
I'm going to make a shitty toothbrush that vibrates. I just thought that like such a, and then what else sealed the deal? It was fucking Back to the Future.
I was about to say Doc Brown.
Yeah, that was my goal.
Yeah, for me, those two scientists are Doc Brown and Robin Williams' character in Flubber.
See, I'm just old enough that Flubber. I was an angry teen by the time Flubber came out. Fuck Flubber.
Fucking dumb.
It's fucking stupid. I fucking hate it here. You're in the mall. That's what the movie theater is.
Sir?
Do you need help? So they go to the movies. Homer is very impatient during the previews, which fuck Homer. I love the previews. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. If I'm thinking about going to a movie and it's like, oh, it starts in 20 minutes, I could get there, but I'd miss the previews, I'll go to a later show.
Yep. Oh man, yeah.
I want the whole experience.
Yeah. Oh, there's too many previews. Really? Was it that bad? Fucking, 20 minutes of it? Sit down. Calm down.
Once the previews end and you start getting into, hi, I'm fucking so-and-so from Marcus Theater.
Yeah, then it's
I'm like, let's wrap it up.
Tap that
we know
watch.
what's at the concession stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't been updated that much. We know, oh, you got fucking popcorn? Holy shit, let me call everyone I know. Like the fountain soda. Oh my god!
Listen, motherfucker, my phone's been on vibrate for 20 years.
Yeah.
Like,
no shit.
got
the volume cranked.
No one's reminding anyone to silence their phone. We do it at comedy shows every time.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah, no shit. All we do. Yeah.
God damn it.
We're part of the problem.
We are part of the problem.
So Homer gets very impatient and fucking pretty much starts a riot.
They mob up quick.
They do mob up quick in Springfield, which leads to him during this whole time where he's losing his cool at the movie theater. They are they're dedicating a statue to Dedrick Tatum.
Yep.
And the boxer, the Mike Tyson boxer in town, and Homer, during the riot, things get out of a little hand, and he basically runs face first. It looks like it hurts. He runs face first into the statue of Dedrick Tatum. He runs into the fist, so he knocks his own ass out. Ends up getting a pretty bad jaw injury from it, which leads to his jaw being wired shut.
Mm-hmm.
Never know anyone.
Such a fucked up thing.
Yeah.
I've never known anyone.
Yeah, my buddy in high school, Teen Wolf.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Your friend Teen Wolf.
Yeah, Teen Wolf, a.k.a. the Both. He would not want to hear this right now if he was listening to the podcast because he has a first name. He's a grown man, leads a very normal life as a child. Teen Wolf was riding a motorcycle, and he, I don't know what happened. Someone ran a stop sign and hit him. He went fucking flying over that, if you can imagine, hitting on a dirt bike. Had a helmet on, but probably wasn't strapped. Yeah, he had to have his jaw strapped shut all summer.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I can't imagine just logistically. How do you live with your fucking jaw wired shut?
You better like milkshakes.
I do. Good news, Nathan.
Yeah.
I think they're great.
You better like that in broth. I think you get a lot of that.
I like both those things.
Oh, yeah. I'm struggling to see the downside here.
Yeah. Nathan, get over here and hit me.
Well, there was a time before like stomach surgeries were all the rage for like weight loss. You could pay to have your jaw wired shut.
Fucking insane.
Yep. I remember being a kid and looking at a National Enquirer magazine and the fucking laundromat my grandmother used to help clean. Did I grow up in the 30s? What's going on? And I remember I would sit there and read the periodicals while her and my aunt would clean. And I remember reading about some TV star paid to have her jaw wired shut in order to lose weight. It's like, what a thing to do.
Which can't be true. It's in the Enquirer.
Oh no, but I mean that it is a procedure that was done. Yeah, she probably did it. She was reading at the same time I was. What the fuck?
What the fucking no? I'm a regular person.
I went to get a haircut.
I like that. I don't know if this is how they do it, but I like that Homer's comes with like full headgear.
Yeah,
like it's almost like a Halo device.
Yeah. With my friends, it wasn't like. I just remember like, I don't like talk like this. Like, hey, fuck you, man.
Fucking Kanye put out a great song.
Yeah.
Through the wire.
Yeah. So Homer's got his. We get a few gags of him trying to, struggle with life without being able to open his mouth.
Holy fuck, when he is eating that steak and he cuts himself off a piece of steak and can't jam it through the wires, so he fucking snorts it. Holy shit, was I laughing.
Yeah.
That was a great visual.
And I will say, too, I did not see this angle coming with this episode. So Homer is stuck at home and, he's can't be loud and obnoxious. And he kind of just becomes a good guy.
Yeah. He just becomes a good listener.
Yeah. He's just sitting in bed with Marge. He's got that little chalkboard. He asks Marge about her day. There's a lot of wholesomeness in this. Yeah.
Speaking of the chalkboard, like communicating through a little chalkboard that you wear around your neck. You know what movie that made me think of?
What's that?
Motherfucking Lightning Jack with Paul Hogan and Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah, I forgot he's mute in that, isn't he?
Cuba Gooding Jr. is a mute.
Yeah.
He has a little chalkboard around his neck.
Oh, and then when Homer is feeding Maggie, it's just like, oh, look at this, he's got time for the kids. I mean, doesn't he even have a Lisa moment where it's like, how's your day? And Lisa's like immediately suspicious.
Holy shit, there's a great little joke there, like a blink and you miss it joke. He writes on the chalkboard, like, how was your day? Or what's wrong? And shows it to her. And she goes, really? And he erases and writes yes and shows it to her. And she goes, you really want to know? And he takes it and erases it and writes yes
again. That was a good joke. Yep.
One extra erase that you didn't need, Homer.
So Marge has been getting A+ Homer for a handful of weeks, but then it's time for his jaws to be unwired. They go on to like a View type talk show. It has to be
Afternoon Yak.
Which it's funny that those shows are now 20 odd years of existing.
That's crazy that those have been on that long.
Yeah. It's interesting, like the stages of what's popular daytime TV. You know, like when I was really little, it was game show. Like there was like a 3-hour block of game shows in the morning. Then you always had your 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. block of soap operas, which have died. There's like a quarter of the soap operas there were. And then for a while, this wasn't necessarily daytime, but like in the 90s, there was that trash Maury, Jerry Springer. Some of that shit got so buck wild they had to put on at night, you know. But like
some of that shit is still on. I'm pretty sure Maury still makes new episodes.
Maury is the fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Just keeps trucking along, you know, 20 odd years in the game.
I've never understood the appeal. I've watched a handful of episodes, and
maybe,
it's like, but I don't know. Maybe I'm too fucking snooty, but I'm like, this is trash. Yeah. This is garbage.
I was always a fan of Jenny Jones. So many of the other ones, the people on there were kind of winking at the camera. Oh, hey, I'm a knucklehead, but they paid me to come to New York City, so I'm just going to act a fool for, you know, a night in a nice hotel. They'd get some people on Jenny Jones because it was like, you know, the 5th most popular. So no one's dream. You would see them look into the cameras. It's like, lights are on, nobody's home. This is a troubled man.
They found real lunatics.
Yeah. Well, to the
Jenny
point,
Jones.
Someone killed somebody after what happened on one of those shows, and that's when they had to pull the old e-brake. Yeah, like it was like a gotcha thing. Like, hey, like I'm your coworker, but I'm secretly in love with you, and it was a guy telling another guy that. This is the 90s. This is a very stodgy, very isolated middle-aged man getting told by another man that he loves him, and he ended up killing that guy when he got back home.
Christ.
Yeah. So it's like, let's hey Jenny, let's listen here.
We've always been garbage.
Yeah, we can't be having murders happening because of our show. So
I do get what you mean though, because like over on Springer they got Guar or the Mentors, like talking about like, you know, oh, my kid listens to Guar. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Fucking rock out with them?
Yeah.
I listened to the Scum of the Earth album like yesterday. So some of us are still on that train.
So do you enjoy their music? Like, I've never really delved much in.
I got to cherry pick. I can't like sit down and listen to any Guar record and be like, yes, this is great. But at least every album has at least 2 great songs on it.
Good for them. I did not know that.
Yeah. I'll send you a list.
My ears.
I'll make you a mixtape.
My Gore mixtape. So Homer, and he does vow, hey, the wires are gone. I'm still going to be the same, you know, nice, not asshole that you've grown to love these last few weeks.
Yeah.
Which Marge is thrilled with, but eventually she misses it. She misses the excitement. She's bored. Homer's not doing cuckoo bird shit all the time. Fucking, she needs that. So what does she do? This, which seems rash, just decides to enter the family sedan or the family wagon in the demo derby, which I don't. Oh man, I love that this is referenced. The sign outside the demo derby, as seen on Faces of Death 2.
Yeah, I did see
that was good.
What a thing to reference.
Yeah.
In 2001, I would have been aware of Faces of Death.
Absolutely.
Catching a video off Napster here and there.
Man, did the internet make Faces of Death irrelevant or what? Just destroyed any need for that. Like, because it's everywhere now. Like, all the worst things are just a couple clicks away.
Now all the deaths you film are cops.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit. It's just everywhere.
You used to have to search that kind of thing out.
Yeah. Oh, there is they go to some kind of like bigger, fancier function, and Marge is worried about Homer acting the fool because the year before there's a picture of him drunk riding a donkey backwards. It's like kicking shit over.
A cake.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then they're at that event. The donkey walks in and like gives Homer the eyes. Like, big boy,
you wanna fuck some shit up?
Rekindle it, and Homer turns down the donkey. God, I got a kick out of that. Like,
that was funny.
Yeah, that was a good running little gag there.
God, Marge, when she's in this demo derby getting knocked around.
Yeah.
She says a line. She shouts a line from the car. I'm not like you people. I'm loved.
Yeah.
Holy Christ.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a great joke.
Yeah. Like how quickly she realized this is not for me.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how they find out she's doing it, but they do. So Bart and Homer and Lisa head down there.
Yeah.
And they don't really know what to do. And then Lisa, I think, comes up with the idea. I'm like, hey, Bart. And they see the beer vendor. And he throws a can of beer over. And now we got Popeye.
Yeah.
And Bart,
we just do Popeye from here.
Which I don't enjoy Popeye enough to really like. I mean, I get what they're going for. That's interesting. It's fun. But like, boy, Popeye, even as a kid, I'm like, this is dull.
I remember having like some Popeye shorts on a VHS tape collection and thinking they were fun. I like how spot on they are to Popeye in this episode of The Simpsons. Like from the movements to how the beer goes through his system and he hulks up. It's all so spot on. And same with Marge, because when they cut to Marge and she's doing the save me, and her arms are waving just like olive oils.
Yeah.
Like, God, I thought this was perfect.
I did like too that donkey comes back and now he's giving the donkeys riding him into the demo derby, and the donkey needs some energy, so he gives him a can of beer, but it just puts it to sleep.
That was one of my big laughs this week, because he opens the donkey's mouth and just dumps it in, and you see the ba-da-da-da-da-da, like it kind of goes through the donkey's body, except he just lays down and goes to sleep.
Are there any good gags with the with Homer saving Marge, or is it pretty simple?
He just kind of hops up there and swoops her up, and she says something like, somebody's got to be the firecracker in this family, but I guess it's not me. And that's kind of it. And
as someone who has participated in Demolition Derby, Marge gets hit in the driver's door, which is a clear violation of any and all Demo Derby rules.
Oh, is that?
That would be an immediate DQ.
Not just a faux pas, but an official rule.
Yep, you're out. Gotcha. I mean, if it's a grazing, if it's just one of those, like if a car is stopped and you blatantly just plow head on, and you hit him in the driver's door, you're going to get pulled.
What if I kind of get you with the passenger side, like a side swipe?
Yeah, one of the flag guys will holler at you.
Hey,
cut it out!
Like I can hear anything in this fucking car.
That is the one thing that I can, to this day. It's been 20 years. I remember it is so loud.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's
loud to be in the stands.
Yeah, that's probably why they have flags. That's why they're not just standing with their hands on their hips. Now that I think about it, they're pointing at you with a flag to get your attention. And it's weird. Like my Demo Derby career wasn't long, but there's a couple times I had to can't do that. That's the wrong side of the car. And usually you paint the door a color too often. That's not always the case, but often you'll paint your door red. Just catch their eye. Like, hey, don't hit me here. Yeah.
It's like the driver's side door is the balls of the car.
Yep. Yeah.
When it comes to, if this were the UFC.
Yeah. With old school, early UFC, could you nutshot way back in the day?
I wasn't watching it way back when, because I was like 9 when the UFC started.
I was like in junior high.
Yeah.
I remember renting UFC 2. Remember, there was just that big, 600-pound black guy fought that guy literally a quarter of his size.
Back when they didn't do weight classes or any of that shit. I think, don't quote me, but I think that nut shots and eye gouges have always been illegal.
Okay. Yeah, I remember a lot of hair pulling in that first one too.
Even in fucking Pride, which had the real buck wild rules, I watched when I first got into MMA, I was watching Pride DVDs, and those they didn't have the rule where, hey, if a guy's on the ground, you can't kick him in the head. Pride didn't have that rule, so you would get Mirko Krokop fucking soccer kicking somebody in the head when they're trying to get up.
Or when I watch MMA and there's like those extra few punches to someone that's knocked out, like,
Yeah,
fuck.
before the ref can get in there.
Yeah, isn't there some kind of decorum so that doesn't have to happen? But
No, you're taught to go until the ref stops you.
Yeah.
Because there's been, I don't remember either of the fighters involved or when it was from, but like a This Day in UFC History clip came across my Facebook feed the other day of a dude who is like fucking knocked out and then hits the mat, wakes up, and ends up winning that fucking fight.
No shit.
Like, that's why you're taught go until the ref pulls you off.
The same people that are teaching UFC fighters are teaching our cops how to handle fights. Just shoot until the gun's empty.
Oh, jeez. I mean, you're not wrong, but god damn it.
Oh, fun time. We live in a failed state.
Yes. A failed police state.
Hey.
So what you're saying is we need referees on the streets.
Yes, we do. Yeah, that's what we need. You'd recognize the striped shirts. You'd know they're official. People would obviously listen to them. Everyone listens to a referee.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Episode number 10 of season 13 is Half Decent Proposal. This is where we get the chalkboard gag of I will not bite the hand that feeds me Butterfingers, which was funny. Homer is a snorer, which I can relate to.
Yes.
As am I. Big snorer, I've been told.
I am here to co-sign on that.
Oh, right. You and I
shared a bedroom, if not a bed.
Yep, you and I have slept together, which is weird to say out loud.
I don't know if we've technically shared a bed. The one time we were close, I don't know if enough of your torso was on the bed. There's maybe one leg and maybe like a hip.
I was for sure like on the floor at the foot of the bed.
Yep.
Yeah, but we've shared rooms a bunch doing comedy, so you can attest to.
And your boy, he's got he's got the apps. I just talked this morning with the sleep doctor. So
you got the app?
I get the sleeping robot sent to my house where it'll gently mount my face and push sweet, sweet air into my face holes.
Oh boy, Nathan's got the Nia.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think the mask is going to bug me.
Really?
Yeah, because I had to do with the sleep. I did a sleep test just this last Saturday.
Yeah, how'd that go? Well, I mean, we got the results, but like, how'd that go? The process?
Terrible. I hated sleeping there, but it wasn't the mask. It's all the wires that hook to your body. And just the fact you're sleeping and holy shit, this is not for jokes. If you ever do a sleep test, bring your own pillow.
That's the key.
Holy, the pillows are trashed there. Like bed was actually fine, but like it's just a weird environment to sleep in.
Yeah. I can't imagine trying to fucking sleep in that Darth Vader mask. I've other friends who wear a sleep mask.
Yeah.
And I can't fucking I sleep on my stomach face down. Like, it's amazing that I live through any night.
That's some Ralphie Wiggum sleep in there.
That's how
I'm tired, lay right down, face first.
like face maybe to a side so I'm laying on a cheek, but like, so I can't imagine trying to sleep with this fucking face hugger on.
Yeah, the terror you would imagine jumping off of a boat is the terror I would imagine thinking of sleeping that way. Even right now, I got like anxiety thinking. I've never once in my life been a stomach sleeper.
Really?
Yep. Like just used to be flat on my back, and then now I've kind of morphed into a side sleeper now.
I'll rock a side sometimes, but like something about sleep, I can't sleep on my back. I feel like I'm dead. Like I feel like I should be in a casket. There's
a meme that I'm stealing this from, but I legit sleep in the Street Fighter 2 Sagat Tiger uppercut pose on my side, one knee up, one arm up.
Not me. I am full on face down. I look like I'm being robbed at gunpoint. I got my hands up and flat, like with my head turned to one side.
No, God, I wish you slept. Like I was hoping you said arms to your side, like just like a toboggan, like just a human bobsled, like ankles touching, just like.
and my feet splayed out, like laid sideways.
From like a aerial view, you look like a small porpoise.
That's how I sleep. So I can't imagine them being like, you need to wear this don't die mask.
And I'm sure right now there's people scoffing at this, but I almost feel like there might be a Pavlovian dog thing where I put the mask on, fire it up. It's oh, this is letting my body know it's bedtime. Like a calm down the old insano brains. Maybe actually go to bed when it's dark out.
Oh, I'm really cutting back on my Xanax intake now that I got, what's this? Oh, oxygen.
Yeah, no shit. I read about this. I think it's going to catch on, this oxygen.
I'll be damned. Look at that. So, yeah, if I end up with which I've been told several times, like, you really should probably do one of those. And you're probably not wrong.
Yeah. I think almost every man in the upper Midwest probably should.
Up in this area, more men have apnea than men have cars.
Yeah. My dad sounds like he's tuning an outboard motor as soon as doesn't have to get into REM sleep. Like there's no rhythm to it. It's like a Tito Puente drum solo. You don't know where he's going. It's real proggy, real out there, but he's just so much going on.
Oh shit. I like how Marge is drawn when she's not getting any sleep.
Yeah.
Like the hair frazzled and the huge bags under the eyes. Yeah. Oh my God, I love that.
The eyes that are still wide open too when she's trying to sleep.
She can't sleep because Homer's fucking snoring. Hibbert offers up a surgical option, but it's too expensive. A buddy of mine, his dad got a snore surgery.
Kind of root you out.
Yeah, get in there with a Roto-Rooter with a couple of Dremels, really bore you out. But it apparently did not work at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
ugh.
That's a bummer.
Because I've heard that surgery is a pain to heal from.
Yeah, that apparently is the case, and it didn't work for him at all.
Oh my God!
So everyone was happy.
No shit. Yeah.
Go through a painful, expensive surgery and come out the other side with nothing.
Did he save the receipt? Excuse me.
He's got a Dremel. He could have just
Oh my God! Very metal, very dangerous.
So we get Marge just not being able to sleep. She sleeps outside on the steps.
The stoop.
Yeah. And this is my biggest laugh of the entire week. I rewound it because I laughed so fucking hard.
I know what it's going to be.
When she's driving the kids and she's all frazzled looking and her eyes slowly close and her head falls forward. She falls asleep when she's driving. Her forehead hits the horn, which wakes her up, and she goes, I can't even get through it now. The head hits the horn, which wakes her up. She snaps to attention and goes,
how alert she is when she says it to like, I'll get it.
She goes, I'll get it. And jumps out of the car.
Yeah. And I mean, they're like on the edge of a hill. She's just rolling.
Holy shit.
And just rolls until she falls asleep. And the kids are just sitting in the car.
Oh, God. That quick 10-second sequence. Honk, I'll get it.
Yeah.
And dives out of the car.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. Oh, man.
That was good. Holy, that was good. Yeah.
So she shows up at Patty and Selma's because she can't sleep in her house, and Patty and Selma are
psyched.
so excited. Like she's got her overnight bag. Oh God, this is the day we've been waiting for. One of them breaks out a fucking bolt cutter. Let's get that ring off. And Marge is like, no, I just need to sleep here for a night because I can't sleep at home because of Homer's snoring. And then they're a little bummed out. But they're watching TV. Also, I meant to bring this up in the last episode, but during the Gay Pride Parade, there's the In the Closet float. And two hands come out of those doors and wave.
One of them is one of the sisters.
One is Smithers, and one is either Patty or Selma. I was like, oh, I'll be damned. And we know one of them takes a fucking stooping from Sideshow Bob.
Yep.
I wish I could tell them apart now, so I wish I knew which one was which.
Other one, I don't always struck me as more asexual.
Right, likewise, yeah. So
hey, who knows?
Look at that. Look at us learning stuff.
Yeah.
They're watching TV. Artie Ziff is on the TV. And he is on TV because he's like the number 5 richest man in the world. And they're like, oh, how about that? I can't believe you let that one get away. And they're drinking wine. And Marge is like, oh, let's write him an email. But Patty and Selma just hijack the email. And they're like, hey, hot stuff. Fucking let's get to getting or whatever they fucking
not very
write.
nice. Yeah.
Real upfront. Which is not what Marge had intended. Artie gets the email, and then when it pans out, he's like, oh, yeah, I was just thinking about her. And the camera pans back to show his entire office for the last 20 years. And it's all covered in
weird,
Marge.
like, abstract Marge art.
Yeah, real creepy. John Lovett's killing it, of course.
So nice to get the Vitz back.
Yeah, the Vitz. Yeah. Putting on the Vitz.
My note is, that's right, America. Lovitz is back, baby.
So he's still obsessed. He comes choppering into their backyard in a Ziff Industries helicopter and offers Homer $1 million if he can have Marge for the weekend. I've never seen an indecent proposal.
Yeah.
Have you?
Isn't it funny? That's one of those movies that everyone has a rough idea of what the plot is.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing that VHS box clearly. It's Robert Redford, Demi Moore, and Woody Harrelson, I think, is the principal cast there.
Yeah, I like it's one everyone knows, but I bet not everyone has seen.
It must be just perfectly okay. It seems like if it was a classic, I would have seen it. If it was terrible, I would have heard more about it.
Yeah, I feel like I hear about it the same way I hear about like Single White Female or Killer Instinct, those movies where it's like, sure. Okay.
That was a genre of movie that really had its time in the sun in the 90s, late 80s, like Fatal Attraction, I think maybe kicked it off.
Okay.
And then they just really ramped up from there.
Also, I was thinking of Basic Instinct, not Killer Instinct,
the
fighting game from the Super Nintendo days.
I was always the ice guy.
I was always the skeleton guy.
Ah, there we go. What was the game where you were like a dinosaur and you would fight another giant dinosaur or a giant gorilla?
No idea.
Yeah, Primal Rage.
Primal Rage. There you
Primal
go.
Rage,
I played some later sequels of that.
Oh,
I think they
okay.
made like fucking 5 of those things.
Oh, shit. Jeez, I didn't know they were successful enough to pull that off.
They were never very good.
Oh, yeah. It was, oh, look, I'm a giant dinosaur and I can eat the people that run around.
Yeah. Homer decides to take him up on it because they need the money for Homer's surgery. It's really Marge who decides to take him up on it. Like, no, I'll just go for the weekend and fucking we'll get the money and you can have your fucking snoring surgery. Homer's at the bar kind of bummed out that Marge is gone, and all the bar patrons really dogpile onto Homer of like, oh yeah, they're banging for sure. Like they really put it in Homer's head that, well, she's long gone. She's never coming back to you, which I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the logic is there, but he's your friend.
Yeah, the logic is there, but you don't fucking do a buddy like that. Meanwhile, Artie Ziff, in a creepy turn of events, has recreated their entire senior prom.
So insane.
Including has hired the townspeople to dress in their 1970s attire and attend this high school prom.
So great. Yep.
We get, of course, Disco Stu accepted no money. He's just there because he loves it. We get, God damn it, I can't even describe what he was doing, but the ridiculous dance that Chief Wiggum is doing when they open that door. He's like leaned back at the hips and then just like pumping his arms and turning back and forth. Yeah. Holy shit, that was funny.
It was a good one.
It's a good look. Marge is kind of getting the vibe that, you know what, maybe Artie Ziff's all right. Maybe he's not the fucking creep he used to be. Just in time for him to plant a fucking rapey kiss on her. Just gets her by the face and just plants.
Yeah.
Homer's on the roof. He sees that through the skylight and thinks that it's a consensual deal.
It's all over that his buddies were right.
Yeah. Marge goes running off. Homer this takes a fucking turn. Homer is just like in the bar going, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to leave this fucking town forever. I'm out of here. Lenny, are you coming with me? And Lenny's just like, yep.
Yeah,
like, Lenny
was so great.
Lenny is just a yes-ander. Like, he's just ready to go.
There's a great line around this time, too, when Homer tells Marge, the next time you see my name, it'll be in the hobo obituaries. That was a nice touch.
Yeah, that's on the VHS tape he leaves for her.
That's what it is, yeah.
Homer and Lenny are out on a bus, heading out into West Springfield, which is like several times the size of Texas.
When the oil boom was going, did it ever once cross your mind to go about western North Dakota?
No, God, no. No. Like at the peak of it, when it was really hot and heavy and everyone was going out there, I was working at the strip club making more money than I knew what to do with anyway. Yeah. So
why would you?
Yeah, why would I give up the air conditioning to go maybe catch a pipe through my head?
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Did you kick it around?
I did, because I was working in a hopeless nowheresville call center job. So, wouldn't hurt, but
But like, what would you have done out there? What kind of job can somebody our size get on an oil rig?
I technically have a commercial driver's license. So,
look at you.
There's options for a man
what are
like
you doing
me.
Here? Shouldn't you be on the road?
Should be white line fever, bro. I had to stop. I couldn't quit driving.
No, you got the truck yips.
Yeah, you got the truck yips. Yeah, too many Black Betties, they said. What are the? I'm trying to think of another brand of trucker speed besides Black Betty's. There's the basic one I'm not thinking of right now. That
Nodos.
Nodos. Yeah, I think there's like a Stinger or something that has like a Hornet on the front of it too.
I'm just trying to think of the lyrics to that song, Trucker Speed.
Trucker Speed, Benzedrine. Something, amphetamines.
Amphetamines, yeah.
Black Betty's at West Coast Turnaround.
There we go.
I gotta start enjoying some West Coast Turnaround.
That's the one I was thinking.
Which I think I Googled is an over-the-counter like amphetamine type thing for truckers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's what it said on the label, but that's what it was considered. Was you got to make that West Coast run. You got to still get home in one the same night.
Coca-Cola and coffee to wash it down.
Yeah. Check out Fred Eaglesmith, folks.
That's a fucking great song.
One of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
It really gets the dance floor full too, if that's your kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't. That's the most depressing fucking song I maybe have ever heard. But it's great.
Yep. It is a good one.
So Homer and Lenny get themselves some oil rig jobs in the hope that they'll be killed on the job. They're like, it's the ending of this episode's a little strange.
Yeah.
Marge recruits Artie Ziff to use his helicopter to try and find Homer. They get there. They get to the oil rig, which has started on fire, which was a funny sequence.
Yeah.
Of an ant on fire running into an ant hill, and then they all dive into the oil. That was a fun sequence. Yeah. They get to the oil rig that's on fire and throw him a rope ladder, and Homer's just like, nah, there's nothing up there for me. You got Artie Ziff, and is being fucking Homer about it.
Yeah, kind of pouting.
Finally, Ziff is like, no, you're the better man, Homer. And Homer immediately jumps on the ladder. Yeah. And then Lenny won't go. Yeah. Like, there's nothing up on that chopper for me.
And then who do we see?
Carl pokes his head out
real sweet.
From the door of the helicopter. And Lenny hops on and they take off. So everything's better, and they're laying down to go to sleep because they didn't want to take his fucking dirty money.
Yeah.
But Artie Ziff invented a sleeping mask.
Yeah.
And Homer's sleeping, and then Artie Ziff is watching Marge sleep through a camera in the mask.
Of course he is.
Because some things will never change, I guess. That one, I don't know. It was like it got my biggest laugh with her fucking diving out of the car. Fucking, I'll get it, and dives out of the car.
That was very good.
But outside of that, and the ending is so weird. Him and Lenny just let's go is very strange.
Yeah. that it just seemed kind of like forced, like
just odd, like it's just off. So yeah, it was fine.
So we're up to episode 11 now, I believe.
Yep.
The Bart Wants What It Wants. It's one of those episodes that starts with something that really has nothing to do with the show.
Yeah.
Of the episode. It starts with Homer and a high-speed chase with the family. He has stolen the Olympic torch. And the Olympics must be coming up, so they got to get that torch out of his hands.
I love that Marge is just like every 4 years. Like she's just browbeat by this.
Yep. And
are you an Olympics guy? Do you watch the Olympics when the Olympics are on?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, me too.
Yep, because I like how high the goddamn stakes are. 4 years. Mm-hmm. Some sports, your window isn't much more than 4 years. If you fuck it up once, you're done.
I really only watch the basketball now that I'm thinking about it. But while it's going on, I'll watch whatever's on, if I need noise.
Being a little kid, and I don't know if it must have been my dad was giving me a ride to school, which was weird because I usually took the bus. And while I was waiting for him to do something, I sat and was just mesmerized by like the littlest weight class in the weightlifting competition. So there's all these tiny Korean and Middle Eastern men lifting tons of weights over their heads. They're just these little guys. They're just thinking, ain't that something?
Look at you guys.
That's pretty neat.
All of my weightlifting entertainment comes from like World's Strongest Man, where I don't think the drug restrictions are as tight.
Yeah. And it's just a funner thing. Like how many of these, Chevy Corsicas can you throw over that Quonset?
Yeah. Hey, we got a gutted international pickup that we loaded a bunch of kids from whatever country we're in. And let's see how far you can carry it. Yeah. I love that shit.
Yeah. How many tires can you eat? So after running from the Olympic people who were able to get the torch away from Homer, they kind of stumble onto like a school fair.
Some kind of prep school.
Like a prep for a fancy high-end prep school.
Which Lisa's upset. You told me there were no private schools in Springfield.
Yeah. God, yeah, the things they have to tell Lisa to just keep her a part of that family.
I forget what Homer points at, but he points at something, and the head of the school, the snooty head of the school, is there, and he slaps Homer's hand away, and he says, monkeys point. And Homer goes, monkeys cry.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, we learned quickly Homer would not be cut out for private school.
No, but I love how badly Lisa wants it.
Yeah. There's a scene during this where Bart rides in bumper cars.
Yeah.
Do you think they would let someone of our size get into a bumper car? Do you think the weight matters at all?
I bet the weight doesn't even factor into it. I bet we can't get into the hole of the car.
Good point.
I bet it's more to do with measurements and not mass.
Yeah, those are probably not roomy. They're not known for accommodating. They're not like luxury sedans.
Now, should they build great big adult-sized bumper cars?
I think you're right.
Fucking right, they should.
I think you're right.
I've never been on bumper cars, even as a kid.
Oh, no shit. I only have a few times at the county fair. Okay.
Our county fair didn't have bumper cars.
They easily get trapped because there's no reverse.
Yeah.
So you just have to wait for a very, sun-stroked fucking carny to grab the back of you and drag you back out so you can start whipping shitties again.
Yeah, I never have.
I've ridden in water bumper cars. That's some state fair shit.
Bumper boats,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Fucking
pretty big deal.
Little Lord.
Yeah. I tire of these regular bumper cars.
I yearn for the sea.
Everyone else is in these rinky-dink ones. I have like the Bowser Mario Kart version of it's a gold and horns on it.
You have an actual sail, a functioning sail.
My servant is the one driving it for me. Faster, Jeeves, faster.
Get him over there, Jeeves. Don't scratch the teak.
I did like how Lisa was fighting to stay in the fancy school because they told her she can go to any school she wants in South Carolina.
Yeah.
And she's like, I will not be a gamecock.
Yes, you will be a gamecock. And they're like pulling her and she's holding on to the gate. That was funny.
Yeah. Ever crossed your mind to go anywhere way out of state for school?
No, I don't think so. Like, all I wanted since I was a kid was to be in radio, and like Moorhead's mass comm department is pretty fucking good especially for this area. And so I was just like that. There was no question that's where I was going to go, was Moorhead, Minnesota.
So would you say there's a pretty good chunk of the radio and television personalities we see in Fargo are Moorhead mass comm majors?
C as in on television, absolutely.
Yeah,
like
interesting.
A lot of them come out of Moorhead. People on the radio are fucking dropouts. None of them went to fucking school, or certainly didn't go to school for communication. And I didn't learn that until I was too deep in.
I goofed.
I didn't learn until my sophomore year of college that they didn't offer radio classes at Moorhead, just television classes.
It's insane how lackadaisical the sign-up process is for college when this life-altering of a financial commitment it is. Oh, guess I can't do what I signed up for. Oh, well, it's only the cost of a house.
Yeah.
You know, it's insanity.
Yeah, it's...
Good.
I eventually took the one radio class they decided to offer that 1 year.
Thanks, gang.
Yeah.
It's totally worth it now.
And then got a job in radio and dropped out of school. So, I guess that led me to that, which led me here, so I can't be mad at it. But it's not the route I thought it'd be.
So it's right around this time. Well, it's at this private schools where Bart meets Greta, Rainier Wolfcastle's daughter, and they kind of hit it off, and it's pretty clear early on that Greta is smitten with one Bart Simpson.
Yeah, she's into Bart.
Mm-hmm. Got them eyes for Bart.
Bart, taken after my own heart, doesn't see it at all.
Yep.
Oblivious.
It doesn't see it or just doesn't care. I think it's more doesn't see it. And then so from there it kind of goes into them kind of courting, but again, Bart's not really, really part of it. So he's more excited that Rainier Wolfcastle is her dad.
Yeah. He's into all the movie props around the house and shit. Yeah. I like that Homer gives him a quick little bit of advice about women. He goes, just don't give girls nicknames like Jumbo or Boxcar.
Yeah. Holy, Boxcar's a rough nickname for a woman.
Boxcar is a real rough nickname.
So the first date is the fancy pants dinner at the Wolfcastle house. Let's see. Then, to repay the favor, Rainier and Greta go to the Simpsons house for dinner. Things are going the way, but then you kind of realize the rubber hits the road when Bart has a decision to make what he's going to do when it comes to spending time.
Yeah.
I think that she asks him to a dance at the fancy school, I think is how that comes around. But again, she has the crush on Bart. He does not seem to realize it. And he blows her off for the chance to heckle Principal Skinner at his first open mic comedy attempt.
Brutal.
So good. So good. Too many people at that show to be a true open mic.
Yeah, way too many. And they're way too enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I like that the act being shuffled off stage right before him is the sea captain doing prop comedy.
Oh, yeah, with that swordfish, toilet paper rolls over the nose.
Swordfish.
Yeah. So, Skinner sucks. So didn't have to share that. It was probably everyone assumed.
I love how teacher-centric all his material is. Why is it you always run out of permission slips before you run out of detention slips or whatever the fuck he says?
What the hell?
And yes, way too many people there for an open mic.
Yeah, way too receptive, way too quiet.
Way too nice of a place.
Yeah, nothing adds up here.
We could go on and on.
Yeah. So now, since he skipped out on that date, Greta is very angry and she's out for revenge. And revenge comes in the form of one Mr. Milhouse. And we get that dumbass was
I know that fucking Budweiser commercial will haunt us forever.
That shit was lame. Minutes after it debuted, it's like, oh, come on!
But yet made its way into pop culture. Yeah. This and Scary Movie and the fucking Dudley Boys did that shit in wrestling up until a couple years ago. They were still doing that shit.
Yeah. So I guess hand it to them for making a commercial so annoying that we can never forget it.
Congrats everybody.
So now Milhouse and Greta are an item, and she leaves for Toronto because that's where Rainier is filming a movie. And I do like that Bart is able to convince his family to join them there, which that doesn't make any sense. Let's fly to Toronto so my 10-year-old boy can see a girl he may or may not like.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
And to be fair, they took a bus.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So they end up going to it's in Toronto in Canada, and props to them for playing Rush. There's a little Rush going on.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
It's not a hit.
I'm not a Rush fan.
Nor am I.
I only know the hits and don't really care for any of them.
They are. I get it, but this is an example of this ain't for me.
Yep, same here. I
get the artistry and all that stuff, and the technical skill, but yeah.
For me, I'd rather listen to Styx, and I don't think Styx is anything special. But my brain puts those in the same folder for some reason.
Yep, very much so. Even kind of almost the same era, I would say.
Yeah, kind of spacey, Yeah, never got into Rush. By the way, the people who love Rush fucking love Rush.
Yep,
they are pissed right now. What are you fucking talking? Why is that? They're just mad. Yeah. Moving pictures.
One thing that's also, isn't it funny? Let's not forget, is this The Simpsons' first foray into Canada?
I think so. Because I think this is the first time we see, Canada jokes.
Mm-hmm. That's what made me think of it. It's like, how... It's funny it took us this long to get there.
We've been to Japan.
Yeah.
But not Canada.
So I mean, I guess good for you. Get it done. Because I enjoy the Canadian references.
Oh, always.
They're not that funny, but I grew up by Canada, so I appreciate a lot of that.
Anytime people make Canada jokes, I'm usually into it. Even if they're the same shit you've heard a million. Fucking hockey and maple syrup and moose. That's all right. Sure, I'll chuckle because I'm a fucking simple American.
Yeah. And the movie, is it called Undercover Nerd? And when those bullies who are half the size of her pick on him, and he picks one up and javelin throws him through the torso of another person. So insane.
That's such a great joke to make about the ridiculous of Schwarzenegger movies.
So nuts, yeah.
Just how far up they would have to amp the violence to keep tickets selling.
Yeah. Bart and Lisa points this out. You're not interested in her. You're just interested in her because Milhouse is with her now. And that's totally the case. Lisa, shrewd, judge human character. And Milhouse is not ready to give up Greta without a fight. We get a great fight scene between the two of them as they're kind of tossing at the movie studio. And I love Milhouse fights are some of my favorite fights.
My favorite shit here, and I hope this continues, Milhouse referring to himself as the house.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot about that, but you're right. Yeah.
Go on and leave, Bart. She's with the house now, and the house always wins. Oh my God. Give it to me right in my veins.
And they both fight pretty valiantly, and they just realize, well, this is for nothing, when Greta lets them know, hey, I'm not into either of you two guys anymore. Yeah. So they just go back to kind of being friends, and the episode thankfully ends back with Skinner in the comedy club.
Yeah.
That really, you get, the jokes are bad too. They nail the awkward feeling in the air. So, yeah.
Man, remember those early open mics? Remember open mics now when you don't, when there's no one there?
Yeah.
just fucking telling jokes to the paintings.
Yeah, early on when like you didn't know what you're like, you'd still be nervous even though there was 4 disinterested people there. It's like, oh man, is this going to be any good? No one cares. No one cares.
I had the misfortune of doing very well my first open mic, and I've been chasing it ever since.
Yeah, that's sweet nectar.
I'll never fucking get no amount of laughs I'll ever get
will be ever as sweet as that first bunch.
Nothing will compare to me like driving home, just like punching the steering wheel in my car, like fucking
you did it.
Yeah.
If my first one wouldn't have went well, I never would have done it again.
Yeah, would have stopped right there.
So insane.
It's the horrible mentality.
So insane. The fact that my first bit was even remotely decent is remarkable. Yeah. Because you're almost always going to suck when you start.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But look at that. You did it.
Did it.
And now we're here.
Talking about mid-aughts Simpsons or early aughts Simpsons.
Into microphones.
Yep. Living the dream, some would say.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And then, yeah, so that's kind of, that is really how it ends. It's just Skinner telling jokes to a disinterested crowd.
Yeah. And the boys join the Canadian men's basketball, Olympic basketball team.
Yep. Because it's just that easy.
Take one more shot at Canada.
That wouldn't be the case anymore. Canada's actually putting out some ball players now.
Oh, are they?
Well, that's where like Wiggins, a former number 1 overall pick for the Wolves that got traded to Golden State. He's from there. There's a couple other bigger names that are as well. But
good for him getting to see the world, going from Canada to Minnesota.
Yeah. But hey, he got to see the world. He got traded to the Warriors, where he's taking up payroll for that team. So good for Golden State.
Yeah.
Sure wouldn't be bad to see Minnesota actually put together a good basketball team before they get moved to Seattle.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
Also, it's fucking bonkers that there's no basketball team in Seattle.
Yeah.
God
damn
it.
Money is horseshit.
Come
Oklahoma City has a basketball team.
I was just about to say that.
They figured that was a more viable option than Seattle.
Fucking A.
I don't get it.
Looney Tunes.
It's all money and all just them demanding a stadium, and they weren't going to get one without at least helping pay for some of it. Like, ugh, yeah.
Yeah, give them a fucking... They got a hockey team now. Give them a goddamn basketball team.
Yeah, no shit, yeah. Yeah, they had a good basketball team for like 50 years. The Sonics were cool.
Gary Payton.
Yeah, good jerseys. Downtown
good
Freddie
jerseys.
Brown.
Yeah. Motherfucking was a Sean Kemp.
Yeah. Jack Sikma. Jack Sikma rocking the white blonde perm on a weekly basis. Good
Which
for
is
him.
Its own look. That's a courageous look.
Very brave. The gentleman's perm.
Good for him.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Seattle was fun. Detlef Schrempf.
Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in 30 years.
Most exquisite flat top in American athletics.
Yeah. This basketball podcast.
Yep. That episode was okay. Just like the rest.
Yeah, much like all of them in this batch. It was fine. Including the last one, episode 12, The Lastest Gun in the West. Bart's out having a good day. He gets a free baseball because it gets hit out of the arena. He finds 2 free dimes. He gets free ice cream. And then he's chased home by a mean dog.
Yeah.
The running through line of the mean dog that hates Bart is odd.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel, it feels forced.
Yeah. Like the few gags in the beginning are fun where like Bart doesn't want to go outside and the dog is like looking in the window, just breathing, fogging up the windows.
Like, I just couldn't figure it out. Like, it just seems like a weird thing to have with no backstory. It just, for it to just happen, it just, I don't know. Felt kind of like lazy writing, but
it felt like a Family Guy bit, honestly.
Oh, very good call. Very good call.
Like, it didn't feel like a Simpsons thing at all.
Yeah, like Stewie has to go outside to get something, but there's a mean dog that keeps chasing him. And yeah, good point.
One of these days, Bart is out and running from the dog and escapes by hopping into a fancy backyard. There's a bunch of other terrifying animals, but they're all taxidermied, other than the ostrich,
Yeah, I thought
which
that was a nice
pokes
touch.
him one and then takes off. He is in the yard of Buck. Is it
McCoy.
McCoy. Buck McCoy. Good ass cowboy name.
Yeah.
And Buck McCoy is an old-timey cowboy actor. I don't know if he's meant to be based on anyone. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think I'd pick up on it. If I've seen enough Westerns, I'd get it if he was supposed to.
Like, we get a reference later that makes me think there's some John Wayne in there.
Yeah.
But he's just an old-timey cowboy, helps him tame the dog, like has all this old Western wisdom.
Yeah. Like just lay your arms across its chest or something really.
And then the dog is tamed.
Loved him. Yeah.
And takes him through the house. He's got all this old cowboy movie memorabilia. And my favorite thing, Frank the horse, who is vacuuming.
Yeah.
He has trained the horse to vacuum his home. And then, Bart's kind of like, I got to get out of here. Yeah. And Buck hops up onto the horse and it rears majestically and he says, to the laundry room. And it runs 10 feet to the laundry room and lets him off.
I think it's around this time too. Like Bart is watching a movie with Buck and Buck has this line. In my movies, there was only drinking, fighting, and tripping horses with wires.
Yep.
That's a nice combination.
Yeah, that is funny.
And there's also a point where he shows like the vintage Buck McCoy, Jesus, I can't think of it now. Lunchbox. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Do you gotta be too young to remember metal lunchboxes, right?
I feel like I never had a metal one. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I feel like by the time I was getting into lunchboxes, it's probably plastic. Yeah.
Can you recall any of yours?
I think I had either a wrestling or Ninja Turtles one, but I don't remember which.
Yeah, I did. My first, it was a rummage sale find. I had a metal lunchbox with all the NFL helmet logos on it that I loved. And then I eventually upgraded to a plastic Garfield.
Okay.
I love me some Garfield. I think that might have been the end of it.
I feel like at a pretty early age, I got like the practicality of like an adult's lunchbox.
Oh, really?
Was thrust upon me because like those little kids' lunchboxes are cool, but like there's no room to put any ice.
Yeah.
Or,
no.
Like,
yeah.
You're just eating a hot sandwich and a mushy apple later that day. So I think pretty early on, it was like, no, here, take this fucking Coleman camping lunchbox to school. And not that it was ever taken to school, but like to church for the fucking weekend we were doing or whatever.
Just thinking, I remember whenever I got a lunch, if my dad ever had to put a lunch, it was awesome because he just stopped at a gas station. It'd be like a sandwich, like a little Ziploc bag of plain potato chips, a Twix bar, and a New York seltzer water. I don't know why, that was always in there. It's like I'm drinking like seltzer water, like a 60-something-year-old retired woman, like just sipping my bubbly water,
I love it. It dance across my tongue.
Yeah. I always loved it, though. I don't know why. When I'd open, it's like, yes. Even though I was very rarely a bring your own lunch, I was almost always eat at the school kid.
Most of the like packed sandwich lunches, like we ate lunch out of a lunchbox every fucking day in the summers when you were out working, like out fucking making hay. Like you took water jugs because you didn't come home. You ate on the tractor while it was moving.
I never thought of that. Yeah.
And the lunch of choice was a chopped ham sandwich, which I have always loved.
God, well, what goes into chopped ham?
Chopped ham is that just square loaf of like, it's like the chicken nugget of ham.
Okay.
Like,
I bet I would like that.
Oh, it's great. It's fucking great. Just like chopped ham and a slice of cheese and some Miracle Whip. Maybe you get some Doritos, like whatever.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
And then like 4 gallons of water because you're going to die out there if you don't.
What I could really handle right now would be a toasted summer sausage sandwich. Or toast with just a thick layer of Miracle Whip. And like usually you got about room for 4 circles. Then you got a bite each one to make it fit. Gotta Tetris some in there, but you'll get it to work.
I mean, I overlap. I'm a fucking animal.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm weird. I need a perfect seal around my sandwich. God, that's a good treat.
A toasted summer sausage sandwich.
I think the toasting makes it for the texture.
You ever fuck around and fry up some summer sausage in a skillet, just in a pan? Fried summer sausage?
I'm not sure.
Get it. Fucking live.
No kidding.
Live your goddamn life, Nathan.
And it's good too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
In the same way that, like,
frying
ham
bologna
is good. Or fried bologna. Yeah. Fucking sandwich talk.
Yeah, sandwich talk. You tune in to 103.7 Sandwich Talk.
And we're not even getting into, like, good sandwiches.
Yeah.
It's just like
trash. Fried bologna.
Chopped ham and fried summer sausage. Boy, these boys know how to live.
Yeah, real party animals.
Like, I'll fuck up a Reuben or a Monte Cristo too. Like, I got my Fauntleroy in me too. But
I'd fuck up a Monte Cristo, I'm sure. Haven't had one in a long time, but
I say as if a Reuben is a fancy sandwich.
Yeah. You know, it's our anniversary. Let's go get a Reuben. Of course, we're splitting it. You know, I didn't get that promotion this year.
Nothing fancy has sauerkraut on it.
Yeah, no shit.
Sauerkraut removes the qualifications for the word fancy. I like that we get just a little touch here that Grandpa knows who Buck McCoy is. Because he grew up watching his movies.
Yep. A hero to Grandpa.
And Bart loves Buck McCoy. Buck McCoy is Bart's new hero, and of course Homer hates that. This is the bit where there's some John Wayne in here. He's over at the Simpson family showing like a movie reel with some clips of his old movies and stuff. He's kind of explaining like, in the 50s I did all these cowboy movies. He mentions like we had the Buck McCoy TV show that only lasted one season, but we cranked out like 350 episodes. So that's how they shot that shit back then.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to him like in a fucking convertible shooting hippies in the 70s because cowboy movies were out and detective shows were in.
That's John Wayne with McHugh, I think it was called.
I think is the name of that movie where he drives a fucking Trans Am. John Wayne drives a fucking Trans Am. Always loved that. It's a bad movie. It's not good.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I grew up on John Wayne movies, but like John Wayne Western and War.
What's his last movie? Is it The Shootist?
That
where he plays a sickly gunfighter. Which,
look at that.
Yeah, that movie ain't half bad. I think that is his last movie. I think that has Lauren Bacall in it too.
By then he was on his fucking 8 millionth Marlboro Light and only had one lung left.
Yeah, I think he was gut cancer of some kind too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he lived a decent life. I think about 80. Which tough to, but like
living the way he did to make it to 80, good for him.
I bet he rolled his cigarettes in uncooked bacon, just double dipping. God, that'd be so great.
Boy, these are hard to keep lit.
You mind if I roll my own? Go right ahead. Just takes out a Camel Light and just wraps it tightly in bacon. Yeah,
a room temp strip of bacon.
Yeah, just can barely keep it lit. Always cursing the bacon. It's like I don't think it's the bacon's fault.
I like a lot of John Wayne movies, even looking back. Like
I love The Cowboys. The
Cowboys is very good.
I saw that on PBS when I was really young.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think my grandpa had that on VHS.
That has to this day he's still alive and still an active actor in it as the bad guy. Dern, his last name is. He's Lauren Dern's father. I can't remember. I'm blanking on his name.
Like Laura Dern.
Yep, still pops up and shit all the time. But he played bad guys in a lot of shit. Like he's one of the few guys that's still alive that pops up in episodes of The Twilight Zone.
Oh, okay.
And then also Alfred Hitchcock Presents. I know he plays a real creepy like teen drifter type, like just milling around.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
I like Sansa Iwo Jima.
Never seen. I'm very unfamiliar with his war work.
Okay. That's if I were to recommend one, it's Sansa Iwo Jima.
I don't.
The Fighting Seabees is all right. The Green Berets is all right.
Yeah, that one was on TV a lot when I was a kid.
True Grit, of course.
True Grit's good. I don't think this is not a hot take. I think my favorite's probably The Searchers
Okay.
But like that's, you know, that makes lists of 100 greatest American movies. Like it's that great ending scene, like where they're all in the house and he's out there. It's like, ooh, that's some symbolism there for you.
Yeah, Searchers is great.
Yeah. It's crazy that he was a star long enough. Like his early shit is it's like first 15 years of talkies, and then he's in a movie in a Trans Am, like you said. Like,
that's quite a fucking spell to cover.
Like a 50-year run as a movie star. Like he also, I remember this when my folks had a dish. There was just this channel that was just the Western channel when you have like the free movie weekend.
Yeah.
There is a Western that it must be based in the Red River of the North, because they talk about Pembina and like, I've always wanted to watch it.
Weird.
Like, they're talking about home and I can clap like a seal.
Home's on the TV.
Yeah.
Clap, clap, clap.
And I remember he calls it Pembina. I'm like, I don't think they should have talked to him.
Somebody should have fucking.
And they kind of sent, like, come on.
I love that you're just soured immediately.
A town that has 400 people in it. That, like, why would anyone know how it's pronounced?
How dare that man mispronounce a thing he's never heard said out loud?
It's Pembina. It's the oldest town in North Dakota. Perhaps the upper Midwest. I know it was like a really, God damn it, what are we talking about, Marlin? Jesus Christ. We need a moderator.
Just a bell that dings every so often. Shot callers if you go X amount of times without saying a Simpsons character.
We're not going to talk about upper Midwest 1800s history. We're not going to talk about trading posts. We're going to talk about the fur trade. This is a Simpsons podcast.
And on The Simpsons, Bart has started a new cowboy fad at school because he thinks Buck is great. And boy, the fad picks up quick. Now all of the kids suddenly are rocking cowboy gear. I love that Kent Brockman is out there reporting on it. And
just calmly mentions that, like,
And then at the end, and in summary, this is barely news.
I bet that happens a lot on local news, where you're just looking at your coworkers like, what the fuck are we doing here?
What are we doing?
This is what? This? Nothing else today? Okay.
Like, that crosses my mind as a viewer.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we're... Okay.
This is what we have to talk about? Like,
I mean, you got an hour to fill or whatever.
So when you were growing up, you were probably pulling the Bismarck local news.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still get a nostalgia buzz when I'm home and the local news is on.
Really?
And I don't know what it is, because there's still a couple old timers left from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
One thing that now, though, Minot doesn't really have its own news as much anymore. It's more Bismarck shit, and I don't like it.
Oh, how dare they?
I want them shooting in Minot. Minot. I want a higher high chair.
Oh my God. Bart's going to try to get Buck back on TV by having him on Krusty's show. Buck is super impressive in rehearsal, doing gun tricks. Like he shoots out like a bunch of holes in the crotch of that Krusty cutout, and shooting all manner of stuff, doing the twirly bits with his 6 guns, and but he's worried about performing. Worried how he'll be in front of a crowd. Krusty not helping by like reminding him,
millions.
Don't forget, millions of people are going to be watching you. Which I never got the impression that this show was that big before.
Yeah.
I thought this was a fucking local public access
This is
show.
a town that has a volunteer fire department. Keep that in mind.
But also a children's clown show that has millions of viewers.
Around the world.
Syndication, I guess, is a big thing. This is how wrestling got big.
Yeah. Yeah. We way to look at, like... Just they start mushing together. All of a sudden, Springfield combines with Shelbyville, and then all of a sudden, some asshole from Capital City comes and buys all the talent out.
Everything comes back to wrestling.
Yeah.
So now we're doing the show, and we're live in front of the cameras, and Buck is shithoused. Comes out on his horse, just hammered.
Just depressing.
Oh, it's so sad to see. And he thinks he's about to shoot the Krusty cutout, but he just flat out plugs Krusty right in the gut.
Yeah.
Just shoots him. So Bart, needless to say, no longer worshiping Buck McCoy.
Yeah.
And Marge and Homer set out on a mission to get Buck sober. Like they show them in his house just pouring all his whiskey down the fucking drain. He goes to the John Ford Center for Alcoholic Cowboys.
Yeah, that was a nice touch.
Which
that
I thought was
John
real
Ford.
good.
Yeah.
I like that one of the guys in the group therapy is like a prospector type.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe I've been drinking. I could have been out there hunting gold.
Like the front of his hat's curled up.
Love it. Reminds me of the Pioneer Nonsense character from Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. There's a great Will Ferrell SNL sketch where he plays a prospector. I can't think.
Really?
Oh, man. Please treat yourself to it. It's considered by some to be like the best thing he ever did on the show. Yep.
Okay.
And I think it was one of those, it was the last sketch of the night, which they'll often just save some random oddball thing that they don't know if it's going to work or not. And it definitely works. It's, yeah.
Awesome. So Buck is doing his best to get clean. There's a robbery at the bank, and Homer wants Buck to save the day in order to earn Bart's admiration back. Buck kind of hems and haws and doesn't really want to do it, but he does, and he does save the day with some real fancy lasso tricks.
Yeah.
As someone who has swung lassos in my day, it's harder than that.
Yeah,
It's way harder than that. I was never very good at it.
And I find it, like, I think they're kind of going off of, it would have been a few years before this, how they're all well armed and heavily armored from that insane bank robbery in LA in the late 90s, where those two maniacs just like robbed a bank and walked out because they were head to toe in armor with like at that time, very illegal. Because there used to be a time some guns were illegal in America.
Yeah, here, what?
And they were up against cops shooting 6-shot revolvers. And they, just.
I think it's Norco, the Norco bank robbery.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
The chopper footage, that is nuts.
Because they're just chewing through these fucking policemen.
And they're just casually shooting vehicles and disabling them and using them as kind of cover. You know, it's like a movie, you know,
it's bonkers.
And some of the cops, they said, drove to sporting goods stores we need bigger guns.
Rifles.
Yeah. Like, these guys are not horsing around.
Yeah, just fucking nuts.
When does it happen where Buck lassos off Martin's Hawaiian shirt? Is that how he loses his shirt?
Oh, that was back in I think Bart does that when Bart shows up to the school.
Brings the cowboy thing.
Yeah, this is the new fad. Everybody show up with your cowboy gear. And Martin's like, what about Hawaiian shirts?
Lassos
just
it off him.
Just yanks it off of him. Yeah.
So good. And first Martin appearance in a minute.
We've not seen Martin very much lately.
There's another scene I enjoyed. It's not only a scene, just a line. It's kind of when I think Homer's kind of jealous that Buck is Bart's new hero. And he kind of proudly announces, they're spraying my workplace for ticks. It's so gross.
And then Bart placates him, pats him on the knee, oh, good job, champ.
Good for you.
I know you've been wanting that for a while now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Buck saves the day from the bank robbers, and they have their nice little moment where he's Bart's hero again, and then he goes, "Goodbye, Bart. Never bother me again," and leaves.
And then the weirdness of the dog. The dog.
Oh, right. The dog is back again.
God, the whole dog thing seemed forced.
Super dumb.
And not funny.
No.
Yeah,
I did like the way too long ending still shot where it's just Buck's mansion and it's him taking out the trash and getting the mail.
Yep, that is
while
good.
that epic Western music is playing in the background.
Yeah.
That's good. Just the mundane bullshit.
Yep.
But yeah, that was,
despite how trash-tastic the dog stuff was, I was never checked out.
Right, same here. And like I liked all the old cowboy shit. Like I grew up on Western movies, a lot of John Wayne movies and things like that. I like old Lone Ranger and that kind of thing.
We were a Gunsmoke family. Used to watch a lot of Gunsmoke.
Same here.
Never did like Bonanza though. Bonanza never did anything for me.
I liked Bonanza, but like it wasn't airing over the air like on the rabbit ears where in my youth, so I had to like come back to Gunsmoke, and it was good. I like Hoss.
I've discussed the insane, depraved senses of humor growing up in my hometown. My buddy used to do this thing where he'd find a mutual friend of ours in the bar and like, hey, did you hear what happened out of town about 8 miles? I was like, no, what? Oh, no one's been talking about it? Like, no, not really. And he'll start telling the story that's like, oh, yeah, well, like, yeah, I can't think of his name. He's got cattle out there. You would know him if you saw him, but he's out there. And like his daughter, they can't find his daughter. Like, well, how old is she? I don't know, probably like a teenager. It's like, well, how the hell did how this? Yeah, and then he just keeps going. But what it is it's a plot from an episode of Gunsmoke. So it's like, well, then finally it gets too implausible. I'm like, shit, I guess that was on Gunsmoke. Like the others, like, you fucking idiot. Just like get like what? Someone's daughter's been kidnapped in our hometown. Like yeah. Like and then like Festus with the check it out. It's like you fucking asshole. Like, oh, you're right. That was Gunsmoke. My bad, man. My bad.
That's fucking
That's
funny.
so great.
That's a great
You know who was often the butt of those jokes? Teen Wolf. Poor Teen Wolf. I think it was a once bitten type thing. I think he caught on pretty quick.
Good for Teen Wolf.
Yeah, hey, this didn't really happen.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I still like Westerns enough where if a Western is widely released in theaters, I'm happy about it.
Yeah, same here. Yep. Even if it's nothing special, it just happens to be made in the modern age and gets to theaters. Like I immediately think of like 3:10 to Yuma,
which I thought was enjoyable.
I think it's fine.
Ben Foster played that weird, creepy sidekick bad guy. Yeah, I liked him.
And that's a remake. Yep. But even then, I'm like, cool. At least it showed up.
I've never seen that Magnificent Seven remake. I've heard it's fine with Denzel Washington.
Saw that. I didn't care for it.
Oh man!
But it is like that flavor of Ethan Hawke is my favorite Ethan Hawke. Like hillbilly or cowboy.
Yeah, he weirdly can fit in because sometimes he's like cool, urbane. You know, like
or fucking Training Day.
Yeah.
But like wilderness / cowboy / Civil War Ethan Hawke is my favorite.
Ethan Hawke's an underrated actor.
I will say, having seen that Magnificent Seven remake, that Chris Pratt is not a cowboy and should never be cast as a fucking cowboy ever again.
Not convincing?
No, not at all.
There was one that came out, I think, was it called Hostiles with Christian Bale?
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
It's
is it good? I didn't
bleak,
see it.
But it's good. Holy shit, dude! Have you seen Bone Tomahawk?
I was just about to say the words Bone Tomahawk. I haven't seen it, but I know that it is apparently pretty wild.
For a treat.
That's a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
And that's like, I can't believe there's not more Western horror movies. So many themes of Westerns apply to horror in a great way. The isolation, all of that shit.
We needed Cowboys versus Aliens or whatever that movie was called to be a hit.
Right.
Because that would have been a hit. We would have like just a onslaught of Westerns would have came out.
It also wasn't good.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen it. I just remember at the time I was like, meh. Like,
I saw that one in the theater.
Oh, no shit.
No.
Yep. God, yeah, it's like I think back, Westerns come out so infrequently. I'm like, oh yeah, what about that one Western? No, that was 2004.
Right.
Like there was one. Was it called Appaloosa with
Viggo Mortensen? No,
with Robert Duvall and Ed Harris.
Yes, Ed Harris.
Was that called Appaloosa?
Yep.
And that was a good movie.
Look at you go. You're killing it on the fucking late model Western.
There's one where Tommy Lee Jones and his estranged daughter hunt after. He's kind of like went to live with the natives and kind of abandoned his family, and like a rival, like a warring tribe, kidnapped that woman's daughter, and she relies on the father, who she doesn't like because he knows the country and he can talk. You know, like, and that's a good movie too. And there's there's a we don't need to get into gnarly Western scenes. That's for another Western, but man, there is some rough stuff in that movie. Because you know what? That was a rough time.
Yeah. Things were bad then.
Yep. That's, man. On the
Speaking of which, the motherfucking Revenant is kind of a Western.
Oh, it absolutely
sorta.
is. God, I loved that.
That's a good movie.
My only beef is that it technically happened in this area, and it's clearly shot in like the Rocky Mountains. It's like,
none of this is flat enough for this to be real.
That shit happened 75 miles from where you grew up, probably. Yeah,
like Lemon, South Dakota.
Yeah, I just find it insane that at one point this was all grizzly bear territory. Just
far as the eye can see.
Just the terror of a grizzly bear running at you from half a mile away and you have nowhere to go. It's going to catch me.
Flat in every direction.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't just lie down. It'll smell me and find me, like...
Fucking Tom Hardy plays such a good shitheel in that movie.
Oh,
Tom Hardy is so hateable in that movie.
Tom Hardy's a good actor.
Tom Hardy's amazing. Fucking Rock and Rolla is my favorite.
God, I haven't thought of that in a while. Yeah.
He's great.
Or that Dunkirk, that pilot role. He's really good in that.
I didn't see Dunkirk. We've talked before. I don't like war movies.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But I've heard that is a good one.
Yeah. He's a good, pretty much anything he pops up and he's pretty good in.
We had the Coen Brothers True Grit remake. That wasn't that horribly long ago, was it? With Lebowski?
Yep, I saw that in the theater and I can't even remember that much detail.
I remember being bored.
Yeah, I remember thinking, I don't think this is better than, and I like the first one. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but I just think, oh, what's his name is the bad guy in that? Robert Duvall.
Yeah. Robert Duvall just is in Westerns. Yeah. It's just what he does.
God, he's getting old too. I think he'll still pop into a movie every once in a while. Like, he's got to be pushing 90, but good for him. Another guy, he shows up in almost anything. What a career. He's in True Grit. He's in The fucking Godfather.
Yeah.
He's in Network. His fucking Lonesome Dove.
Deep Impact. Yeah, he's in everything.
Interesting career that guy's had.
He's been all over the road. But yeah, I feel like he's been playing mostly cowboys since Lonesome Dove, which I've never seen.
Oh, really? That was must-see TV in the Folsom household because it was on network TV, which is, didn't have to drive to a big city to go to a movie theater.
I believe the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, is in a late one, like a recent one.
Really?
Yeah, because I think they kept making those movies.
I think Bret Hart was in the televised version of Lonesome Dove. There was a Lonesome Dove, the series, and Bret Hart occasionally pops in as a trapper.
Huh. Well, he's Canadian.
Yep. Maybe it was another syndicated Western, but I can't even imagine what that would be. I'm sure it was where Bret Hart had a reoccurring character as like a surly trapper that would show up in town. Like, he was fine.
Bret the Hitman Hart, why not?
Yeah, he fit it well. Yeah. Like, yeah, man. Well, while we're on the Robert Duvall subject, if you are a fan of smaller indie movies, Robert Duvall made a movie like in 98 called The Apostle that I think he pretty much had to bankroll himself because no one's like, we don't want to make this, but it's so good. He's just a small town pastor. I don't know, some kind of Southern Pentecostal Baptist or whatever flavor of Protestantism he is. And he's super religious, but his wife, played by Farrah Fawcett, is cheating on him. And at like a church softball game, he just brains the guy that she's screwing with a softball bat.
Oh.
And then he just realizes he's got to go on the run and then just ends up way in the deep south and starts a church in the middle of nowhere. And then like...
Is he an old man? Is this a recent movie?
He's probably in his 60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of.
Yeah. And it's a good movie. Like almost when you forget about, but he's so good in it. Like...
I look forward to our Lonesome Dove podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Holy man, the mustaches of the people that would be listening to that podcast. That would have to. I wish there was a way to have prerequisites for who can download a podcast. We'll allow a full beard, but a mustache should be more what we're looking for.
At the very least, we should probably make people pay for that one.
Yeah.
That should be a Patreon exclusive.
Holy shit, yeah.
Send us $20. We'll send you all of our fucking thoughts on Lonesome Dove on tape.
On audio tape.
Yep.
Recorded cassettes. Yeah. Jesus, that's a good idea.
No one take that idea. That's ours.
If a podcast...
I'll delete all this.
Yeah. God damn it. Yeah. That's such a good idea. And some fucking asshole would leak it and destroy our art.
Oh, Christ. You want to do another 5 next week? See if they get better?
Man, yeah. This is like, I'm emotionally exhausted. We've discussed a lot of topics.
We're all over the road tonight.
I think I hit the end of things I know. So the rest of them are just going to be about The Simpsons. Nice, tidy 40-minute podcast.
Yeah, and then this happened, and this was a very funny
joke. That was really
joke,
fun.
and
That
we'll
was
see you next
interesting.
week.
Yeah, do you remember in season 4 when that happened? That was great. Well, there's your primer.
Eventually, we just can't comment on anything else.
Yeah, we're not even a third of the way through, and we're struggling to think of relatable content.
We gave
Marlin,
up on relatable fucking 40 episodes
we're
ago.
Flown a Zeppelin, Marlin. I'm apologizing before I'm so sorry, you guys. I know he hasn't. Marlin.
Oh, Christ.
You ever been bit by a chupacabra? Fuck, Marlin. You've never been to Puerto Rico. We discussed that 2 episodes ago.
You gotta fill the time with something. You know any recipes?
Have you ever seen Champy, the Lake Champlain monster? New England?
Paranormal podcast now?
I don't know what's going on.
Just converge all of the most popular podcast topics. Paranormal, serial killers, and television recaps.
Yeah, have you ever murdered a homeless woman?
I mean, but no, I'm not going to tell you about it.
Yeah. It's not
These
a podcast.
mics are on. They're not props.
Some things are just for me.
Next week we will do episodes 13 to 17.
I'm gonna be there. I can't promise this hot content. I went for it on this one.
Oh God. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at BarleyBasketUSA. Email the show, barleybasketUSA@gmail.com. And we will do it again next week.
Bye, everybody.